every time we do the clap sync, my right ear rings for the next like 30 seconds because I clap right next to it. And I'm like, I should put my headphones on over that ear.
You could
It's a
clap
habit I should be in general.
literally
But like,
anywhere else, though. You don't have to
Yeah.
put it right next to your ear.
well, in my mind, I'm like, I have to put it next to both microphones. And rather than move Nina's microphone so that I can just clap closer to mine and Nina's, I'm like, I'll clap next to my ear.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
And
Clearly.
Anyway, welcome back to Casual Obsessions pre-podcast, mini-podcast Gab and the Ghouls, where we talk about the movies that we have watched in between Podcast Prime and sub-podcast.
that's
Noah-
yeah, okay.
Noah, if I may, I
Please.
need to issue an apology.
Oh, I thought I was getting issued a citation.
No. Last episode, as you know, I broke structure. I went first, and I was like, I'm gonna speed run these 27 movies I watched.
There's a lot of movies.
It was a lot of movies. I went back and I looked at how long it took, and I realized it was not much of a speed run because it took like 16 minutes.
Okay.
It's not as much
I
of a
just
slow
need
run as
to
Noah usually does.
apologize.
Noah
I
has
think I usually
monopolized
take-
40 minutes at the beginning of the podcast on the reg for an awfully long time now.
Okay, but if I may, I only monopolize 40 minutes when I engage in conversation. Know what I'm saying?
Are you blaming
No.
me?
Whoa! There's a lot of blame getting thrown around, and it's not by me. And y'all believe Jade is blaming me for allegedly blaming them, when in
Anyway.
reality, I'm just the patron saint of
The
yapping.
patron saint.
Shut the fuck up. I watched some dog shit these last 2 weeks.
Incredible.
I
I
got-
can't wait to hear
I got
about
14 movies. All right.
14.
And I'm looking at my average rating here, and actually, there's not a lot of dog shit. I think there's actually only 3 bad movies, but they
The
really
numbers that you
stand
rate the
out.
movies with do not indicate that they're not dog shit.
No, I like looking at the movies. They're actually all like pretty good, but there were like 3 that stood out enough that I'm like, wow, I watched some real shit this week.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, without further ado, I watched The Lair from 2022.
Oh,
It is a movie about an abandoned Russian experiment silo in the Middle East. This is the Iraq War, by the way. And it's really kind of racist, and it's something else. I didn't like it much at all.
what kind of
Yeah.
experiments are they doing?
Oh, they turned them into super soldiers, but the super soldiers
Classic.
are like monsters. You know, like big claws, big teeth, thick skin,
Sure.
so you can get shot at and shit. The monsters look cool.
Least they could do.
Also, it's the soldiers that they are. It's like the Black Sheep Squadron. You got the kleptomaniac, you got the doctor who used to be addicted to opioids.
What
you
are
got-
they? Some kind of suicide squad?
No, like it was
You got the guy
so
who can
bad.
climb anything and he just fucks off and dies at the beginning of the movie.
You got the guy whose job is tables.
The Presbyterian,
Yeah, it's just like everyone's there.
the gambler.
The lapsed Catholic.
Everyone's got to
I
have the
love
last
that rather
Catholic.
than continuing to talk about this movie, Noah will just like pause still and after 3 seconds come up with another character.
We've got more
Ah,
bits to
but
do
see-
about the movie.
If there's a good tight edit, no one will know that I paused to think of another bad character to put into the movie.
I'm gonna
Pause
edit
3
so the pause
seconds.
is
Silverware.
longer.
Silverware was there.
Please make the pauses longer, Jade. I will pay you
I'm
money.
gonna put pauses
Anyway, I
in
do
where
not-
there weren't any before.
I also am going to put pauses in. Boo.
Boo.
I don't recommend The Lair. It was not that fun. Let me check its average vibes on Letterboxd. See if I'm like in the minority here. No, its peak is at 2 stars. Average at 2.1. The monster design is cool, and I hated every character in the movie.
Yeah.
They're just not good.
Yeah.
But immediately after that, Nina and I watched Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, meaning we watched all 3 of the good pirate
Nice.
trilogy, and now we're gonna watch 2 bad pirate movies eventually. We haven't got
Aw.
around to it yet,
Sad.
but I can't wait to watch Pirates 4. I remember really not caring for it.
I don't think I ever
And I
watched it
really
all the way
can't wait.
through.
I think we watched it as a family,
think
which does not mean you paid attention the whole way.
I saw parts of it and didn't watch the whole thing. I want to say I wasn't there the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah. And I watched the fifth Pirates. I watched that with Dan for a different thing that we were going to do. We recorded like a commentary track and everything.
Oh, that's right.
My first reaction to this movie. And I think he had seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also bad. Bad in a different way, but bad. So, what you going to do?
No,
but Pirates 3 is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really, it suffers from Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, where neither of those movies are good without the context of what came before them.
Yeah.
But also, that's okay in this case, because there's only 2 movies that came before it.
Yeah.
A lot easier to keep up with.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really liked it.
Curse of the Black Pearl obviously is the best Pirates movie. But
yes.
It might be the
World's
best
End
movie.
is my second favorite. And honestly, it's not that far off from Black Pearl for me. I really, really love it.
I love it. I love it too, and I don't understand. I think that it was because of like when it came out, but it's such a neat. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, what did everyone think was so bad when this first came out?
People
Because
hated
all
it,
I heard
and
was that it was the
argued
bad
with a
one.
lot
Yeah.
of people.
People
hate, and I think it was
good, though.
Keira Knightley, right? Like people didn't like Keira Knightley being
Being a fully realized character,
which is
What?
stupid since she's been a focal character the entire time.
I
She's
but
the
like
main
that's
character
remember-
of every
only-
movie.
I think I remember people not liking that she, it's Mary Sue like behavior to be the king of pirates. But I
Okay,
don't
what
even
about
remember
Will?
that. This
Will
is
Will
is
is
the
a
biggest
Mary
This is
Mary
a-
Sue that there is.
This
like,
is a straw man because I actually don't remember anyone saying that.
Oh.
This is something that like I just remember hearing it was bad. I remember hearing potentially that it made no sense was maybe one thing that I do remember hearing. But watching, and this is I think a symptom of like kind of the Lost TV show phenomenon where the time passed between movies and public consensus about movie 2 was that it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And because of that, with the third movie, when things came to fruition, some of it might have seemed to have come out of nowhere, but it didn't. When you watch them all back to back to back, like we just did, it's pretty clear that they had this planned from movie 2. Like if movie 1 had flopped, that would have been one thing.
Well, movie 2 and 3 were filmed at the same time.
Right. So, but
That
yeah,
makes sense.
that's what I actually remember is people saying that maybe it was poorly paced, maybe saying that certain plot points seemed to come out of nowhere or be like poorly set up. And on a rewatch, that's not necessarily true. I don't remember. I don't know why people hate it so much. But maybe we had the benefit of hindsight knowing that 2 more movies came out and those were actually bad.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
It's just wonderful. Jade, can you
Yeah.
edit out where Nina said that we were straw man arguing against people so we look smarter?
Oh yeah, we're talking about real, actual people who have
Yeah.
actually said all the things that we attribute to them. Always.
Yeah.
There's this dude in my I was about to say garage and I'd ruined my whole bit. There's this dude in my garage, Bob, and he said all this stuff right before we started recording.
Oh, fuck Bob.
He's the worst. I hope you leave him locked in that garage.
I'm gonna.
What else did you watch, Noah?
I don't know if y'all knew, but it was the 15th anniversary of Coraline. So I surprised Nina with tickets to Coraline,
Hell
and we
yeah.
had a delightful time.
Nice.
I forgot that there's no previews before special event movies. So we
We
walked
didn't
in.
miss anything. We hit it right when it started.
Yeah. So we walk in and it packed full. And Nina's like, wow, I wonder why there's so many people here. Does this have to do with whatever you're taking me to? And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. There's a bunch of goth people around. And Nina's like, there's a lot of hot people here. Does this have anything to do with what you brought me here for? And I'm like, I think so. Yes. And then we had already decided, because I'm like, stand back while I get the ticket scanned. I don't want you to see what the movie is because we're a whole surprise. So we go up and we start to walk in and I'm like, I think it would be really cool if we make it through all the previews and everything and you don't know what the movie is until the movie starts. And then literally we walk in and there's a thing on screen that pops up and says, stay seated after the presentation for special making or rebuilding Coraline featurette.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, well, there we go.
Spoiled.
Exactly
And the
like I was
featurette
shooting
was
for.
really cool
It
too.
was really
It
cool.
was talking about obviously a bunch of stuff that they talked really frankly, which I appreciate. I feel like a lot of artists, when they talk about their process, they kind of try and make it understandable to a general audience. But knowing enough about stop animation as I am familiar with, it was nice to hear them just talk about like, oh yeah, like this is the way that technology has come, and addressing a fear that I had at the time of like that it became common practice of like 3D printing different faceplates and such, where there was the wonder if it was going to take away from the handcraftedness of it. And on the animators on the featurette were talking about how like, oh yeah, it saves us time, but because of that we're innovating like 60 new things that are taking up all that time. So
That's
it's not
good.
necessarily a shortcut, it's just a time saver so that we can focus on other things. The current puppet that they reconstructed of Coraline is mostly there so that they can pose her for promotional material, but she they did their best to recreate her as much as they could, which was hard because as they said in the featurette, some of the materials that they used to make her original outfits are no longer available. Specifically, certain types of spandex were really popular in the early 2000s and really accessible and are not anymore.
The raincoat, by the way, made out of spandex.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So very fun.
What?
Also, the original Coraline puppet had like a it was a hard top of the head that was like all a single piece, so you couldn't pop off top faceplate, bottom faceplate. There was a lot of other stuff that they had to work with.
Oh my god. We have got to get a hold of Cranbrersher and get him on for another podcast about Coraline sometime, because holy shit.
That'd be great.
I am postponing the episode for Coraline until after he's done with his current
Right, when he
project
finishes
because
the guide.
he put out an episode recently. I don't know if anyone watched it. A lot of it was set in the forest, which was super fun. So it's the first of a 3-part finale. So be aware of that.
Hot damn.
Very excited. He is in the editing and animating stages now. He's done with, or like the editing stages. He is done with the like
Oh, nice.
animation, like physical
That's
stop
nice.
motion
Hell
stuff.
yeah. Hell
So,
yeah.
Nice.
yeah. Anyway, that's Coraline. We watched it. It was
I
even
think-
better on the big screen.
Yeah, I think watching Coraline in theaters was my favorite 3D movie experience that I've had.
I did not buy the 3D tickets, and I'm kind of kicking myself for that one because
I
I
don't
think it could have been fun.
It is
But
fun.
it was it's one of those things where every now and then I am struck with the undeniable certainty that watching movies at home is such a waste of my time versus watching them on a big screen, because I've only ever seen Coraline on a screen about 2 foot by 1.5 feet, you know, tiny little thing. And watching Coraline on the huge screen, I'm like, oh my god, movies really were meant to be seen like this. It was a truly wonderful time.
It was great. Yeah.
I followed that by watching some real dog shit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2014, Deliver Us from Evil, Scott Derrickson.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
be a hater, but Scott Derrickson, I do not like you. I know you listen to the podcast, man, and I'm really sorry to say this, but when I look at what he has put out, Doctor Strange, not too bad. Black Phone, liked it. Sinister, love it.
It's fun.
Exorcism of Emily Rose. When I watched it back in the day, I thought it was pretty good. I have seen reviews do not say that, and I'm looking at the things that people say, and I'm like, oh, I remember that.
I remember it mostly just being like a comedically bog standard exorcism movie.
The more that
Yeah.
I've watched by this guy, the less that I think he's good at what he's doing, and the more I think that the other people working with him putting more effort into shit than he does is making those movies good. Specifically watching his VHS short and Hellraiser Inferno, I recognized a lot of things that he does consistently through the movies of his that I like. And I realized, oh, the shit I don't like in Black Phone and Sinister is 100% non-debatably Scott Derrickson. And the things that I do like are not present in these movies at all. So I'm beginning to realize that maybe I don't like Scott Derrickson that much. I will probably still watch Black Phone too, but how was Deliver Us from Evil, Noah?
Bad.
Damn. Who could have
Alright,
predicted
so,
that?
we all like The Doors, right?
I am neutral
band
on the
The
Doors. I'm very neutral.
I
You
couldn't
know, their
name a single
song "When You're
song.
Strange" or whatever. We
That is
all
the only
love
song.
that
Yeah,
song,
that's the
right?
song of theirs that I think of. Yeah.
Well, you know who else loves that song? The Devil.
Holy
because
shit.
Demons. Every time there's a possession going on, that song plays. The fucking demon loves The Doors so much. This Deliver Us from Evil is a bad movie because it is one of those based on a true story movies. It is allegedly based on an actual story that happened in New York City to actual cops. I don't know if that's true, but I will say that Joel McHale in this movie is a cop who should actually be put down for his level of police brutality that he exhibits.
Damn.
And then he's trying to pull our main guy, Eric Bana, off of other people saying, whoa, man, you're going too far. This is a disaster of a police procedural.
Incredible.
Okay.
And then the demon stuff is not exciting, and the plot is really middling, and it's just really not a fun time. The first half is fun. I like the first half. But the second half is just really bad. It really does hit a wall where it no longer is a building into being an interesting possession movie and is just bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. I watched the original Thing, The Thing from Another World. This is what John Carpenter remade.
From what, like
that became like 51.
51.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. I like it a lot. It is not the near perfect, if not perfect film that I think The Thing is, but it is actually a pretty good time. I liked it.
Nice.
Let's see. Nina and I went and saw Alien Romulus. Had a lot of fun. I understand the criticisms leveled against it. I think that they are fair enough criticisms. But I still had fun because I am not going to let a movie that's kind of playing the Alien hits turn me off of enjoying it, because I still like it. And frankly, I've seen a lot of people talk about this. I am a fake Alien fan. I have seen the two prequels, Alien and Alien Romulus, and Alien versus Predator, right? I have not seen 2, 3, or Resurrection, which
Really?
I've heard are all really I know, I have all of them on Blu-ray in the other
That's
room, and I need to
surprising.
just buckle down.
The 2nd
I've
one is
seen But I've
so
seen-
good. You're gonna really like it when you watch it, I think.
I know that everyone says that whether Alien or Aliens is they think the best Alien movie, flip-flops per viewing.
It's kind of a Terminator
So-
T2 thing.
Well, I mean, T2 is better, right? We could all agree.
Well, but like, not that like one's necessarily like
No, but they're
hard
very
better,
different.
But like, yeah, one's more the suspense horror thing, and the other's more. Well, I mean, they're slashers, both of them, but like,
Right.
one's like the more suspense oriented slasher, and the other's just like more straightforward action and such.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and what I've been seeing, though, is people saying Alien Romulus is the weakest of the Alien films. And
That
I
cannot be
gotta
true.
say,
Hard disagree.
well, if Alien Romulus is the weakest of them,
That's a
Alien's a
strong-ass
great
franchise.
franchise. Holy shit. It's what other movie did I have this to say about recently too? It was something that there's like 5. Oh, Mad Max.
It was Mad Max.
If
Yeah.
Thunderdome is your worst movie, damn, what a fucking franchise.
Yeah.
Because
Seriously.
Thunderdome's still almost great. It's just not, you know?
Yeah, it's good,
I-
not great. I would say.
I loved Alien Romulus. I saw it this past week.
Nice.
It was an incredible time. I don't agree with a lot of the criticisms I've seen of the movie. I think people are being silly. Where the general consensus for the Alien franchise for the past few movies has been Prometheus came out, people did not like it, were extremely critical of it. Covenant came out, was a box office failure, and people were and still are extremely critical of it, even though it's found a niche of people that really like it. So of course the studio is going to go back and be like, okay, we've got to go back to kind of like what people like about Alien, kind of isolated, derelict sets, being hunted by these aliens, like that sort of thing. And I think the practical sets on this were amazing. The acting was amazing. I think fucking Andy and his entire character throughout the film was
I
extraordinary.
liked Andy a lot.
I loved him. And like the bits of horror that are shown, I think are really effective. Overall, there's not too much horror in the movie. I think it's much closer to kind of like an action movie at times, like Aliens is. But even in the first Alien, there's not Like, this has a comparable level of horror, I would say, to the first Alien. And
I would disagree, but I definitely get where you're coming from.
yeah, I think people are being like way too pointlessly critical of the movie in a lot of ways. And I think it's a great entry into the franchise, especially to like start off something new.
I really hope that they let Ridley make the third prequel, because there is one more movie with David in it for sure. And I would love to see this make enough money for them to think that they can throw away one more Ridley Scott Alien movie.
That would be nice.
You know, I would really
I would
like
enjoy
that.
I think Scott originally had planned 2 more David movies, though.
I would love them to throw away 2 more movies at Ridley Scott then. The man's done his shit. Let's let him make his weird little alien movie where he's like, God isn't real, and if he is, then he doesn't like us, but I don't like him either, so there we are.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Romulus briefly.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, thank you. I really liked it. There was one creature design that grew on me a lot as the scenes with it went on that I initially saw, and I had a underwater reaction where I was like, really? That's what you're doing? That's so boring. And then the more I saw of it, I was like, actually, this slaps.
That's where I'm at.
The one
as
at
well.
the end.
Mm-hmm. I also loved Andy, obviously. I have that kind of character arc and story on my mind at the moment. I loved what they did with him. I did not love, and this is the main, I have 2 main critiques. One, some of it was a little cringe. There's like 2 lines that I was like, but by the time the movie was over, I forgot those lines existed until I went on Twitter and saw people quoting them. And I was like, that's right, I hated those lines, but I forgot about them. And then I really, 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 really hated the not de-aging, but the like deep fake nonsense with Ian Holm.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that.
I really had hoped after they did it a couple times with the Star Wars movies that maybe we had decided that the technology either wasn't there yet or that we were just not going to do that shit.
We just don't like it.
And it did not need to be done in this movie. The character that was there was great, but I feel like it could have been done equally effectively without it having to be the same model as Ash.
Yeah.
So that was what really fucking pissed me off. Other than that, I
wasn't too bothered by that because we've seen it so much in movies nowadays. I feel like I'm just a bit desensitized to it. I'm like, they probably could have done something better, but I don't really care.
I'm trying really hard not to be desensitized to it because I have some personal like ethical qualms with it, not just the like AI stuff, but in the sense of using someone's likeness after they've passed really feels like something that I don't want to get too comfortable with overall.
I don't like that.
But and then again, it is usually used not out of respect for whatever actor, but out of corporate greed to be able to capitalize off fans like
Tarkin.
Attachment to certain characters. So, and Luke in
Tarkin, Luke, young Leia.
The thing
Luke,
that really
it's
bothers
a
me
different
with the
thing
Luke one
because
is that they had an actor who actually looked like him, and then they used the CG to make him look less like him. That was bullshit.
That was an interesting choice,
stupid.
but that's
decision.
different because Mark's like still around.
Yeah, he's still
But
alive.
like a lot of the other stuff is like Leia. Carrie Fisher hadn't even been dead that long when they did that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some stuff that some issues that I personally have with it, but and I also just felt like it didn't look great. And there were some scenes where I was trying really hard to like be in the moment and be in the moment about that character specifically. But every time that he was on screen, all I could think about was how bad it looked and how much I didn't like what they were doing. But other than that, the sets were fucking gorgeous. The acting was great across the board. I really loved, I think Isabel Merced is her name. I'm really loving the moment we're having for Latinas in horror right now. And she really added to that. I loved everything she did.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
I
time
actually
all
would
around.
definitely like to definitely say I like that every character decision in this movie made sense.
Yes,
I don't want to
very
get
much.
into too much because Jade hasn't seen it yet, and I assume that they want to.
I'm intending to. Yes.
But I like character choices. Also, for full fairness, what do you call him? Oh my God, Ian Ford, right?
Ian Holm.
Ian Holm, thank you. Ian Holm's family gave permission for this movie to use his likeness because they said he always had felt cast aside by Hollywood once he like hit a point. Like, I think some of the last stuff he was in was like Lord of the Rings. So this, we had Stan Lee and rampant elder abuse and stuff like that at the end of his life. So like, it's not, family permission isn't everything, but at least this isn't the same as like, I mean, Tarkin. Tarkin's who I'm always going to keep coming back to. That was just, that was weird, and I did not care for it.
Yeah. I will say, when he appeared on screens and stuff, he looked really good.
It did look very good
well,
on
that
screen.
kind of looked more like the point and click adventure style stuff.
Yeah.
That's like what a lot of it reminded me of, was the like Oregon Trail kind of shit where they have like just the bottom jaw moving, but not in a bad way. It didn't look like terrible when he was on screens. Anyway, Alien Romulus.
Yeah, so that put me in an alien mood. So I went and watched Predator 2, which is Predator in the
That
Hood.
made me really interested in watching alien movies. So I watched Predator.
Yeah.
I have a physical copy of all the Alien movies that I just mentioned I haven't watched, but instead, Predator sequel.
Predator.
Yep. And you know what? It's fine. I feel like I watched it very recently, and
I'm pretty sure you did.
I don't know why I think that. Yeah, if I did not log it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Watched AVP Requiem though, and I will say I maintain there is a good movie hidden in AVP Requiem. It is, no matter, because I have heard that the cinematographers are looking to try and re-release this with new lighting, because there are a bunch of promotional videos that have this movie well lit, and then it was digitally darkened. And that's what happened. That's what killed this movie. So there is a world that we get the AVP Requiem re-release, and it has better lighting and shit like that. It will never be able to escape its really painful 2000s stereotype characters. And I mean, it's released in 2007. We get the line, someone saying, I think that they're lying to us. Well, they're the government. They can't lie to us. It's like... It was wild. It was a really obnoxious line.
Oh my God.
Big fan. But I do believe that there is a decent movie in that. But when I say decent, I don't mean more than a 3-star from me. I just mean that it would be a pleasant 3-star versus the I'm very disappointed at the potential 1.5-star. Let's see. Next we watch Mirrors and Into the Mirror, which is a little secret that I'm going to talk about once we get into things later. I'm going to round off with this next one last. So I'll jump over. I watched Godzilla -1 again, and I watched the black and white cut. And it's actually really, really nice. It looks very good. It's not just a black and white filter thrown over it. They regraded the film, and it looks gorgeous. Godzilla firing up his atomic breath just has white light streaming from him.
Oh, hell yeah.
It just lights it up and blows it out in a fun way. It's very, very fun. AVP Requiem was the last true dog shit movie that I watched over the course of this, by the way, but a close contender in the I did not really care for it. I watched Hellhole. It released this year. It's on Shudder.
Name in high school.
Hey, yo.
God damn.
I feel like I've heard something about Hellhole.
God damn it. So it's John Adams and Toby Poser. They go by the Addams Family.
John Adams?
Yeah.
From like American History.
The Revolution.
Holy shit.
Yep.
He's still kicking. He's still making movies like he was back then.
You know it. So I've heard good things about his movie Hellbender.
Oh yeah. I saw a
have you
trailer
seen
for
Hellbender?
that at local horror fest the year that it came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I was excited about that.
Yeah. It looked pretty interesting.
Well, Hellhole was it's kind of fun. It's a riff on The Thing.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of like kind of unfortunately generic hard rock riffs that play throughout. It's clearly meant to be like a little bit of a fun splatterfest at times. And it just doesn't quite super land for me. Okay. I gave it a 2.5. It's not bad. It's just not for me. I don't know. It's you're watching a group of frackers in Russia dig up a monster by accident. It's fun enough.
Yeah, okay.
I watched The Quick and the Dead with Nina last night, the Sam Raimi Western. Oh my god.
That was a great time.
What a good time.
I knew you'd like it.
What a good time.
Nice.
Had a really great time with that one.
Oh man, it was just really, really, really good.
It is just
start
a
to
good time.
finish. I had a blast.
It's maybe my favorite, and this is saying something because I really did enjoy Evil Dead. But this is probably my favorite Raimi, and it is also what has made me. It's the most modern, next to Django Unchained, the most modern Western I've seen that is still feels like a Western, and doesn't feel like a shiny superhero movie that you set in the Wild West. Looking at you, Magnificent Seven reboot. But
Yeah.
I think this is what made me realize that I just don't like the Spider-Man movies. They're still good, but they're not my favorite like comic book movies. And everyone always says that the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are their favorite comic book movies, and they're just like a comic book on the screen. And I think they're fine, but they're definitely not my favorite. And I don't really like some of the directorial choices made.
Nina, you're so brave.
Yeah, people can fight me on this one.
I
It's
will.
fine. I have bad taste. But the other, I just really like his directing in a Western. A lot of it makes sense to me because I'm so used to stylistic direction within Westerns as a spaghetti Western fan.
It's the way they're
And so
supposed
to-
to be, right?
It just makes sense. And there's one scene that uses like 60 billion dolly zooms at once.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, this is it. This is cinema. So my apologies to Sam Raimi. I was not familiar with your game.
The big thing about Sam Raimi
Yeah,
is
loved it
when
very
he's
much.
making movies, he is just fucking around and having a good time. And sometimes that really, really works. Other times it kind of like doesn't land.
Yeah, I think it really landed in every way here. I loved all the characters. I loved the acting was great across the board. This might be one of my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio roles ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just a good time. I would
Oh shit, that was fast.
I loved it dearly. This might be a new comfort movie for me. I'm putting it up there. But yeah.
Now,
Hell yeah.
my final movie, because I actually went through all 14 that I watched, with the exception of the 2 that are for the podcast. But I want to bring Jade in on this one because this is a movie that Jade and I watched together with our friend of the podcast, Jackson.
Yeah.
We watched the 2014 Darren Aronofsky classic cinematic masterpiece, Noah.
Yeah.
And I tell you,
We did that.
I was
I
not
have-
present for this. I was in another room and I came out twice because they laughed so hard and so loud that I needed to know what had just happened.
now listen, I want to make something abundantly clear. This is probably not a funny movie. Right? This is probably not hilarious, but if you're
Unless.
someone like me who was raised kind of fundamentalist, not really,
mean-
but like raised fundamentalist, drifted away as a family from fundamentalism, and then I left the
Fast
church,
and
you know.
early.
Yeah, you know, this was especially because it's the Noah story, and I don't know if y'all have noticed. My name is Noah.
Whoa, wait.
And
Hold on. Wait, like the Bible? Holy shit.
I'm named after the Bible guy. You know,
Jack, can you double check that?
came up. I'm right. This movie, in the very first 5 seconds, is like, oh, in the beginning, God created the world, and then Adam and Eve sinned, and then Cain killed his brother. I'm like, ooh, we're fast forwarding,
In the
okay. And then he's like,
beginning.
and then fallen angels known as the Watchers watched over Cain, and I'm like, huh?
And this is unfamiliar to
Pause.
us because we didn't read the Book of Enoch. Like morons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, we
We would
read
have learned
the,
about the Nephilim.
Exactly.
we avoided the apocryphal texts. We stuck with the true canon.
No, you don't know about the Nephilim? I thought you watched Supernatural.
I don't know about the Watchers as biblical entities.
Okay.
The Watchers are not the
Supernatural, I don't
Nephilim,
know if you knew
separate
this.
things.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are separate things.
Whatever.
Also, I don't know if you know this, but Supernatural, also apocryphal.
I did know this.
What?
Supernatural
I know,
can't even
it's
pronounce the name
disappointing.
Azazel correctly.
A lot of people can't pronounce the name Azazel correctly.
Yeah, because of Supernatural pronouncing it wrong. Azazel.
There are
No,
other
How do you even
reasons.
there's
say
a lot
that?
of
There's
reasons.
a lot of reasons. Anyway,
That's a stupid thing to say, Jade.
It-
Come on.
I
It's,
came
it's how
out
it's
at
written.
one
If people
point-
don't know
It's
Hebrew.
fucking not. Anyways.
at one point I walked out and it was the scene near the end of the Noah story where he gets drunk as fuck on his own wine and
Oh.
passes out ass naked.
We
Yeah.
were, oh my God. We were literally
and then I
all
had to
sitting
come
there.
back in and tell the context of why I'd left to the Discord call that I was on. And there were some non-Christians in the chat who did not know what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah.
Every
is that
scene
the
that
scene where
happens.
his daughters fuck him?
No,
No,
that's
you're
Lot.
thinking
that
of
happens to Lot, not
Yeah,
Noah.
you're thinking of Lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Noah didn't have any daughters, according
he
to
had
this
3
story.
sons and one didn't cover up his naked ass, and that son got cursed for it.
Yep. Except in this, he didn't get cursed. He just decided to
He
leave.
just left forever.
Oh,
Fuck
that's
off,
lame.
Ham.
There is so Japheth does not get a girlfriend. Ham also doesn't get a girlfriend. Noah goes to find them wives, and then he goes into the city,
And everyone's
and
evil.
We're slapped with the most cartoonish evil display. Someone is stealing a baby, and she's like, "Please don't steal my baby," and he goes, "Hey, people have to eat," as he walks away. Insane line to just drop there. There are people that are just like they're just hitting each other, right? Like everyone's just fighting constantly.
There's a lamb that gets thrown into a crowd, and the people just like rip it apart. People are always
they just eat it.
Killing animals that you know don't exist in the world today. So the implication is like that was the last one.
Yeah, there's this dude who I thought they made up for the movie named Tubal Cain.
He is
Oh, you
the
didn't know
real
about
star
Tubal Cain?
of the show. The movie should have been called
No, I didn't know about Tubal Cain.
Actually,
He comes in, and we find out that in the Christian Bible, Tubal Cain is known as the first blacksmith, but in the Torah, he is more specifically known as the blacksmith that improved upon Cain's creation.
yeah, he like
meaning
started
he made
inventing weapons, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the guy he was the first weaponsmith. So I tell you, this, because of knowing the Noah story so well, relatively to any other part of the Bible, because it is a very preached on salvation story, right? Watching Tubal Cain hack his way into the ark and then eat an animal that doesn't exist.
He just
because he's like,
grabs it and
man's
takes
got to
a
eat.
bite. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
ridiculous.
Ham is like, you can't do that. There's only 2 of them. And he's like, yeah, there's only one of me, kid. And, man, I'm sorry. I think we all remember the part of the Bible where Noah beats people with a stick to keep them from getting on the ark, right? It definitely wasn't Noah begging people to take him seriously so that they could be saved. It was him beating people off the ark with a stick.
Yeah. In the Bible, like, God is the one who closes the door to the ark so people can't get onto it, and like the whole thing comes across very differently. But my favorite aspect of Noah as a character in this movie is that his read of God's plan entirely is that Noah is like a human extinctionist, and he's a hardliner on this as well. He's like, yeah, once the flood's over, we're gonna land back down on the ground and stuff, we're gonna release the animals, and then we're gonna wait to die as a family. One by one, Japheth, the youngest son, is going to be the last man on Earth. The whole point here is ending the human race to create a better world for animals. And he will prevent anything that would like cause the continuation of the human race.
Meaning he was about ready to murder his 2 grandchildren because they were girls and not boys.
Yeah. And
also,
everyone in his
2
family is fighting
grandchildren-
him about this. They're all like,
Yes,
hey, you don't have
everyone's
to
fighting
do
him
that.
about it.
And he's like, yes, I do. It's God's plan. And then he yells into the sky and nothing happens. So he takes that as confirmation.
And it's so wild because they also, Darren Aronofsky slips in this gem of a line about Noah's wife telling Shem's wife, who gives birth, that she has saved them because they could not find wives for her sons, and now there's 2 girls. It is insane shit. This movie, like, it hits all the parts that you don't want to think about. It invents parts that you've never thought of in your life.
There's
and then,
characters and conflicts and events that not only are not in the biblical narrative, but also do nothing for the story itself. It's not even as though they get added to make the thing come across better. They kind of like just don't accomplish anything.
Yeah.
There's some really chilling scenes in here too. I don't know.
Aronofsky's very good at that. It's full of classic
generally
Aronofsky.
speaking, had a good time.
We had fun.
And
I mean,
also we were very high. I need to specify we were so high watching
we got
this.
smonked hard beforehand. So we were just cracking jokes the whole way through, and I think that's what made it fun. By the time we hit the end, we were all on the same page that like Tubal Cain was the real main character. And Jackson messaged me afterward saying that like he can't stop imagining basically like AMVs set to Five Finger Death Punch songs for Tubal Cain. No, and honestly, I haven't been able to stop thinking of this.
Honestly, it sounds like you all just need to do this again, but next time you watch Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Oh no.
Because that was...
And that's
I saw that
Bale.
one when I was younger, and then, like... I think Noah came out a couple years after.
Right.
And Noah has the same, like, vibes. Is it the same year, really?
Yeah.
Wasn't there, like, a Ten Commandments remake, like, 2 years after that as well?
I'm sorry, wait, I need to get some really heavy clarification. Is Joel Edgerton...
playing a pharaoh, yes.
Do they change his skin tone?
No matter what the answer is, that's
not
bad.
that I remember.
I remember him looking super tan for no good reason.
Oh, okay. It's been a long time since I've thought about this movie.
I'm looking at him. He's definitely like tanner than he is in real life, but he's not like.
Nope. I'm looking at this.
I take it back. From a distance, this photo looked fine. Up close,
he's on that Yul Brynner shit.
Why did they do that? Anyway,
oh man,
I don't want to.
What year did that come out?
About this.
2014.
That was before racism existed. They didn't know.
Oh, that's true.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we were still in the Obama presidency, the golden years of nothing can be racist.
There was
Obama's
no
the president.
racism during the Obama years. We all remember this.
We all remember.
do remember this. Do we? I have severe memory loss.
Well, anyway, that's all I watched these last couple weeks.
Yeah, wow, that's all.
I just want to say my apology at the beginning. And
right?
Jade joking, like, Noah has taken like 40 minutes to
and
do
it has now been
his segment.
Jade only said Noah took 30 minutes.
No, Jade said 40, and here we are
40.
clocking in approximately 40 minutes.
Yeah. But that was wonderful. I enjoyed that. That was a fun time.
Yeah, so
that was...
I had one movie that I watched other than Darren Aronofsky's 2014 movie, Noah.
But after Darren Aronofsky's 2014 Noah, is anything even worth talking about?
I'm gonna be honest. No. So, y'all remember how I really like, over the last year or so, I've been discovering my love of David Cronenberg, largely through my love of Brandon Cronenberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This year, I don't know if you caught this announcement a while back. We heard that we were going to be seeing a movie from Caitlin Cronenberg.
I do remember hearing that, yeah.
It's out.
I heard nothing about that.
Okay, well, it's out and it's on Shudder. It's called Humane.
What's it called?
And I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off here. It's not great.
No.
However, if you've seen earlier David Cronenberg stuff, it's kind of not good in the same way that his earlier stuff was lacking. I think the most positive thing that I can say about it is you can tell she's not gaining a lot from nepotism here. Because there's an awful lot in the movie that is simply not executed well. It has a visual style that looks very, very cheap and not good. And honestly, it looks bad enough that it's like distracting almost at certain points, because it's just like, could you not put like $10 into your lighting or something? Like, I don't know. Here's the thing though, the concept and some of the like, I don't know, quieter parts of the execution of the concept, pretty neat, pretty interesting. There's a ton of like, it's, futuristic, near future kind of like dystopian sci-fi, which is, I don't know, there's a certain flavor of mundane near future dystopia that I really, really love seeing. It's the kind of stuff that we saw in like Logan back in 2017, and that we see in Humane here. It's the setting is that there's been like a ton of climate damage done, and the light of the sun is too intense to have untinted windows in your house anymore. So everyone has these like tinted and mirrored like adhesive things that they stick up on all their windows, and you can see cars have had these stuck on them just to retrofit them to the new situation and stuff. Everyone has these like reflective umbrellas with them anytime that they're outside. It's a lot of really neat like environmental storytelling and stuff, right? But the larger concept is, do you remember how like over the last several years we've started to see watch a wealthy family implode on each other become its own like little subgenre? It's one of those.
Okay.
And the conflict that's causing them to implode on one another, other than the fact that they all hate each other, of course, it's a given for the genre, right?
Of course.
This is a setting where it has been deemed by the government that overpopulation is a massive, massive problem. There are not enough resources for everyone, just not enough to go around. So they're doing state-sponsored euthanasia. And they've got like buses that just go driving around door to door. Basically, you call them and they show up and they euthanize you, take your body away, and then they give your family $250,000.
Oh,
not a bad deal.
Everyone who enlists, this is how they refer to it, of course. They call it enlisting to make it sound more tasteful, of course. Everyone who enlists guarantees a pile of money going to their family. And I'm gonna leave it there to avoid just like getting too in the weeds about the way that the movie plays out and stuff. I do not think that it's perfect or great or anything, but I liked it enough that I will most definitely watch the next thing that she makes. I think this is really more of a show your potential as a concept person kind of movie for her.
Yeah.
And I would really like to see what she would do with someone else as the director of like the cinematography or something, because I think if we take her concept, because it's a very classic Cronenberg style kind of concept, and I like that a lot, and just give it a little bit of a flashier visual kind of thing going, then like it could be pretty fucking rad.
Yeah. That sounds fun. I would check that out.
Yeah.
I'll probably check it out.
Don't be expecting a ton from it or anything. Like I said, it's visually underwhelming enough that it distracts from any of the rest of the quality of it. But like a lot of the characters are pretty neat and stuff. I like the way that a lot of things get presented in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think it's a waste of time.
Honestly, that's about all you can ask for sometimes.
It's her first movie, you know? I bet my first movie wouldn't be very good at all, so...
Skill issue. My first movie would be The Godfather. I'd just shoot it again.
You'd get taken down for plagiarism.
Who's going to stop me?
Because that's just The Godfather. Mine would be Blazing Saddles.
Couldn't make Blazing Saddles.
Iconic. Incredible.
That's it for me.
Nina, did you have any movies you wanted to talk about?
I don't have any movies, but I do have two other things.
Ooh.
I watched The Terror because it hit Netflix. I only watched the first season because that was the only season I'm interested in. It's an anthology, so
Okay.
the first season follows I think it's called the Franklin Expedition. I'm not sure. It's an expedition that was sent into the Arctic to find a Northwest Passage in the 1840s, and then they got stuck in the ice during the winter and all of them died, and we are told this up front, and we get to see this crew of like too many men losing their minds. I will admit early on I got a few characters mixed up with each other because they look very similar. They're all white British-ish men. As time went on, I did figure out who was who, but there was one character that I was like, thank God he's gone, because I couldn't tell him apart from the main character, and I was getting legitimately confused.
That's so funny.
But it's good. It's very fast-paced. People start dying really fast because they have like 100 some odd men to get through, and they all have to die before the end of the 10 or so episode series. It's great. Highly recommend. I was recommended it by my friend Sebastian, who it's all he ever talks about, and I think it was worth it. I also just felt like I was getting closer to my friend through watching it, which was nice.
Nice.
And then the other thing I did was I read, and the way I've just forgotten what it's called, but I read this artist who I have talked about on the podcast before, Q. He does horror art, some really good gory horror art, and I read his webcomic that he's been putting out every Wednesday, and it's a Western. It's got a dude who came back really, really wrong and a werewolf, and the two of them are solving mysteries together. I'm really enjoying it. You should definitely check it out. It's on their account, Leslie Q Art. and I'll post that in the Discord server, but I am forgetting the name of the comic right now, and I have a headache, so I'm not gonna try and find it. Yeah,
Neat.
very good. 10 out of 10. Didn't watch many movies. I'm watching Evil right now on Netflix, and I'm having a great time because it has Michael Emerson in it, and that's the only reason I started it. But it also has Luke Cage's actor, and I really love him in this, so I'm enjoying it very much.
Speaking of Michael Emerson, me and Becca are very, very far along in Lost now. I'm so excited.
Nice.
I'm literally
the
scrolling
5th
through
season
the tag for his character on Tumblr. Like,
He's
off
the
and on.
evil guy in Evil.
He is the evil guy in Evil.
Isn't he the evil guy in everything that he's in?
I don't think I've ever
I
seen
don't
him
know.
play a good guy.
I haven't seen him in anything else.
Yeah, he's just
You saw him in
villains,
Saw?
I think.
He was briefly in Saw.
He's getting
As a
little
manipulated
evil
Saw,
guy.
I guess.
Yeah.
but
He plays Zep.
Zep.
Listen, I don't
It's
think
the
that
rules.
that's you can
Zep,
give him a
comma,
pass.
theme.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I've been into recently. Emma,
Nice.
you watched a bunch of
You
movies
watched a
as
pile
well,
of
or any?
movies.
I didn't watch as many movies as last time. Don't worry, chat. I only watched 12 movies.
Is that it?
And that's it. I'll speed run them. I watched The Bike Riders, newer movie that came
yeah.
out. Noah's very
Oh.
happy.
I like the
Um,
Bike Riders.
I enjoyed my time with it. I didn't love it. I'm not super into like biker stories, I think. And so it wasn't particularly compelling for me. I thought everybody did a great job. I think it's a well-made movie. It's just not really for me. I rewatched an old favorite of mine, Warrior, starring our Egyptian pharaoh guy, Joel Edgerton, as well as Tom Hardy. And that movie's incredible. 9 out of 10. Absolutely love it. So good. So emotional. So wow. I
So
rewatched Ready or Not, which I think we watched that for the podcast, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So I rewatched that one just because I was looking for something fun to watch.
It's a good one.
And I forgot how much I really, really enjoyed that movie. It's so much fun, incredibly well made, so good, iconic. I watched a movie that at least one of you will be very excited that I watched, The Shape of Water.
Yeah!
I had never seen it before, finally watched it.
Hell yeah.
I came in with like super high expectations, which I think hurt me a little bit.
Oh,
I still gave it 4 stars out of 5.
okay.
I enjoyed it. I was worried at the end they were going to do some ableist stuff, and they didn't, and I was thankful for that. But then there's some uncomfy conversations around, I feel like the woman being maybe a tad predatory towards the water guy. I don't know. The start of that relationship was a bit iffy for me, and I was like, and I didn't know how to feel about it. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really good.
Nice.
Then I watched the 2017 movie Power Rangers.
There was a Power
Now-
Rangers movie in 2017?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a critical
Oh,
failure,
yeah,
so it's
isn't
not getting
I
a
was
sequel.
gonna
The
say,
or
guy who
anything.
plays Billy in Stranger Things is one of the main
is
characters.
the Red Ranger.
That's,
Yeah.
that
How
is
can
the
this
only
be?
thing I know about that film.
It has one of the best written, I think, autistic characters in a movie that I've seen. I had fun with this movie. At the beginning, I liked it a lot more. And then obviously, like, Power Rangers is a very campy, kind of corny IP, and you have to be
Right.
aware of that going into it. When we started getting to, like, those areas, like, the camp was really overpowering, and I had a hard time with it. But overall, I still really enjoyed the movie. The red, the blue, and the pink Rangers specifically, and their dynamic, I think, was really well done. They're like the 3 core people that are kind of introduced at the beginning of the movie, and they have a relationship and a dynamic, and I think those 3 are really good. But then they throw in the yellow and the black Rangers just kind of on the side, like a bit randomly, and those 2 characters never really feel like they connect, like in the cohesion of the rest of the team, and they're a bit clunky and awkward. But overall, people were really critical of the movie when it came out, and then recently people have been like, this movie's not as bad as people made it out to like seem when it first came out. And so I wanted to watch it, and I did, and I enjoyed it. I would have enjoyed seeing more of a series of these, but the one is fun. I had a good time. Then I watched Life. Have any of you seen Life?
Oh, that's the
I
space
saw
one, right?
trailers for Life.
I
That's got
remember the
Jake
trailers.
Gyllenhaal and
Jake
Ryan.
Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds.
And it's got that little
our
blobby
queen,
guy.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Ooh.
Yeah, I always kind of Rebecca Ferguson. Wow. Sorry.
That was the entirety of watching The Quick and the Dead, by the way, is Nina going, oh, wow.
Wow.
Sharon Stone was really good in The Quick
She
and the Dead.
is.
That's all I have to
She's
say
really
about
good.
that. My thoughts about Life when the trailers were in theaters was, didn't we already do this with Alien? Why are we doing this again? But I was not a horror watcher, nor was I a huge sci-fi fan when those trailers were in theaters. That's the same way I felt about Underwater, was, didn't we already do this but in space?
Yeah. I think there's obviously like comparisons to Alien that are going to be made because it's a space horror film where an alien is killing a bunch of people. But I thought this was really great. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. There's some really brutal deaths. The alien, it's kind of one of those aliens where it's like, alien, how do you know how to do that thing? Like, you're a baby. But like, the Aliens franchise does that a lot as well. And so I'm just kind of like, it just kind of happens. But yeah, I thought it was really well done, really well made. I really enjoyed it. Would recommend checking out if you're looking for a movie to watch at some point. Then I watched American Fiction. Also extremely good movie. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's very much about a movie about POC creatives and how the market wants to force them to only write about like their experience of being a person of color, where you want to write about the things you're passionate about or the things you're knowledgeable about. It's kind of about that like tension. And in this movie, this character just kind of writes like a trash book about like the Black experience as kind of like a hate joke, and sends it out to some publishers. And of course, the white publishers are like, oh my gosh, this is such an important story. And this is so, and he's like, this is bullshit. But then it kind of contrasts that with like his own personal story of like the struggles him and his family are going through, which are very just real, everyday like struggles. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Another movie I would recommend.
Neat.
Nice.
I watched Jackpot on Prime Video. It was a new Prime Video movie with John Cena and Awkwafina. I did not enjoy it. I gave it 1 star.
What a surprise.
You know, I gotta be honest.
looked
That combination
so-
of actors sounds hellish.
Yeah, honestly,
It
just as a
feels like-
pairing.
Yeah, so the movie itself, the way it's written and directed feels like kind of it's trying to be like a Deadpool kind of comedy movie but like Deadpool comedy, I feel takes a very particular kind of charismatic person to be able to pull off effectively. And Ryan Reynolds is just Ryan Reynolds and can do that. And Bullet Train has a similar vibe, and Brad Pitt is just Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And can kind of like lean into that sort of thing. But like no actor in this movie has that kind of charisma, and it just feels awkward throughout. And I didn't enjoy it. Then I watched Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh,
Great
Nina
time.
liked that.
I keep hearing
It's a
nothing
really
but
fun
good.
movie.
Where's it streaming? Is it streaming right now?
I saw it on Prime.
Okay.
So I think it is on Prime.
Wait,
But-
Zelda Williams, like Robin Williams' daughter?
Yeah, she directed it.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is cool.
I thought it was really fun. I had heard so many good things about it. I think I also suffered a little bit of expecting too much when I didn't know what to expect. But it's a very solid, like, fun time, and I enjoyed it. And I think everybody did a great job in it. Then I watched Molly's Game, which is a movie starring Jessica Chastain and Idris Elba, where she ran in an illegal kind of poker game. And the feds like arrest her and everybody else who was involved in it a number of years later, and she hires Idris Elba's character to represent her in court. My family, like my mom's side of the family, my grandparents were poker or blackjack dealers, and we grew up playing like poker and card games and stuff. So I love a good like poker story, and I thought this was just really well done. It's like really interesting and compelling, and I had a really fun time with it, and I liked it a lot. And then I watched Alien Romulus, which we already talked about, and then I watched Mirrors, which we're going to talk about.
Whoa. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So I guess that means it's time to go into the main body of the episode.
Ready.
An hour and 6 minutes into recording, I do think it's about that time.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll cut that down to 50 minutes. Right.
Take out all those long pauses Noah had in between
down
coming
to,
up with character suggestions. We'll get there.
I think it's coming down
57?
to around the 1 hour mark, probably. I don't actually cut more than like 15 or 20 minutes out of a 2-hour episode typically.
I'm surprised you cut that much.
Welcome back to Casual Obsession, the horror movie podcast where we talk about horror movies. As always, I am a host, and my name is Noah, and I go by he, they pronouns. With me today is
Emma.
not Nina, because Nina is not feeling well.
Yeah, Nina joined us for Gabbin' the Ghouls, but is not feeling well, so stepped out to go.
Mayhaps we'll be back later. Who knows?
Mayhaps.
Went out
A
for a
guest
pack of
reading.
cigarettes. We're
Mayhaps.
certain that she will come back.
A gallon of milk.
I'm Emma. I use they, them pronouns.
I'm Jade. I also use they, them pronouns.
Woo! What's next, Noah?
I'm sorry.
What are you going to say next?
What's next, Noah? What movie did we
Noah.
watch?
Noah,
what movie did we watch?
Yeah.
Why, we watched... Today, it's Mirrors Day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
what is it
Go
about?
down to the
2008
department store and buy
mirrors.
the biggest mirror that you can find and take it to Bob Cratchit's house.
So yeah, Alexandre Aja's movie Mirrors, which I learned is a remake of a 2003 K-horror movie called Into the Mirror, which we'll talk about in a little
And
bit.
the flow of the movie
Is
makes
that
so
related
much
to
more
Into
sense.
the Spider-Verse?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, so firstly, the flow, or lack thereof, of the movie makes much more sense when you learn that it's a K-horror remake.
Honestly, I would have pegged
character
it for a
decisions.
J-horror remake, actually. It feels very The Ring toward
Right.
the end.
And it's one of those things where just like this knowledge changes a lot of how I feel about the movie, but also nothing about how I feel about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not important because I'm giving you a quick, spoiler-free synopsis of what this movie's like. Mirrors is a film about what happens when you trust quack science. We got a night guard who takes over at the old, burned-out Mayflower, which is a department store, the likes of which you only see in movies now.
Yeah, it's the 2000s. It's a different world. The internet isn't as big a thing just yet. People still shop in brick and mortar stores.
People have money.
Amazon only sells books.
I mean, this was in the middle of a recession,
This
so
was,
people didn't have money during
there
this.
was a whole
but,
ass financial crisis occurring. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a little glimpse into a time that just isn't anymore. And the mall is haunted. And that's all I'll get into at the moment. The mall's mirrors are haunted.
The mirrors.
Yeah, the mirrors.
Mirrors. Haunted mirrors.
Haunted mirrors.
If you can believe it. But we won't harp on that too much at the moment. I'm instead going to skip to my next segment, which is the ratings segment. There's something really funny, by the way, about any time I host an episode. I talk for an hour.
And then you talk
then
for another 20 minutes. And then...
Exactly. Someone else intros the movie, and then I go, my turn now, push my glasses up, do my bit, and then I step back, and then...
You do the summary.
I come in again with the content warnings, and then I step back. And then here we are.
Yeah, so critical reception.
Now I operate this entire block. IMDb 6.1, Rotten Tomatoes a scathing 15%.
Oof.
Metacritic 35%.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Letterboxd 2.6 out of 5. Now I couldn't find any I couldn't find an Ebert,
Letterboxd
and
with the
Brandon
high
did
numbers
not
here,
watch
though.
this movie.
Jesus.
So what I've decided, I went to Rotten Tomatoes because I'm like, 15% is abysmal.
Yeah.
Let's see what some of these critics have to say.
I'm like, I'm like, do I need to rethink my rating?
Did I enjoy this shit too much? Like,
So,
because like, spoiler for my rating, I don't think this is a great movie or anything, but like, I kind of came around to enjoying it by the time it ended.
Yeah.
15% has me thinking I'm wrong to have done that.
Mirrors, what to know. Critics' consensus, inconsistency, and listless plot make this K-horror remake a less than frightening time at the movies.
Listless is a good word for this.
Listless is a unfortunately great word for this. Scott Weinberg gave this a positive rating, saying one of the better films of the infamous J-horror remake Onslaught, relatively speaking.
That was happening a lot in the 2000s, yeah.
But it's K-horror.
But they made it seem more like a J-horror remake, because those were selling.
It also, well, more importantly, he's talking about the era of the J-horror remakes.
Right.
So yes, he is incorrect. He is citing the wrong thing and everything. But we got James Roche from Common Sense Media with brutal horror movie offers little to reflect on. Get it? Because it's a mirror. Also, Scott Weinberg from The Horror Show. I should let people know where these guys are from. You know, we could probably get a little more education on our part. We could become Rotten Tomatoes critics. Probably. I think you only need to actually have one source. If we start writing on the website, we're so in.
Oh, hell yeah.
We got to get that website up and running.
Then we can
Kevin Carr from 7M Pictures says, I love a good horror movie, and this offered something different from the slasher remakes and zombie flicks, which this was in the zombie boom as well. So, you know.
That makes sense.
Rossiter Drake from San Francisco Examiner. This will be my last one. Jack Bauer can disarm nuclear weapons without breaking a sweat, but he apparently can't locate a script worthy of his real-life alter ego.
Maybe they should have got MacGyver instead.
Yeah, important note, audience, this movie stars Kiefer Sutherland, who at the time was in a show called 24, where he played a character named Jack Bauer.
Yeah, and ooh, man. I tell you, Kiefer Sutherland is a highlight in this movie for me. Not in a good way, but he is a highlight in this movie.
He is really something. I mean, I think he deserves an AMV with a Five Finger Death Punch song, personally. But unlike Tubal Cain, he doesn't get a cool song. He gets, like, The Bleeding or something. Joke for
this is a very funny song too, or this is a very funny reference for the former Death Punch fans out there. Current Death Punch fans, what we're doing is called a podcast. You've probably seen it on Joe Rogan. It's where people discuss things, but unlike Joe Rogan, we have something to say.
Holy shit, Jimmy, is that real? Can you look that up?
Apologies to any Five Finger Death Punch fans whose feelings we've hurt.
And apology means that we feel bad about what we've said.
The first couple albums are actually reasonably solid. I maintain this. Wrong Side of Heaven really lost me, though. I can't keep up with them. You know? They're ridiculous. They're an absurd band.
They're really goofy.
We love the troops.
But that's it for the critics. Half a second. Hey, Nina!
They're laying down. They don't feel good.
All right, so Nina gives this movie a 5 out of 10.
That seems pretty fair.
Oh, Nina's coming in.
I'll come back for this part.
Oh, you're elaborating.
This is Nina!
Woo,
Nina's
Nina!
here to elaborate for 2
Special
seconds.
Guest, Nina.
Okay.
Special guest.
I will be back. I'm just gonna slap some home remedies all up in my face.
Don't forget the mayo in the hair.
Nina's gonna come back with like a poultice.
Thank you.
Full of
I
garlic,
almost did.
just wrapped around their neck.
Yeah, I'm gonna have smelling salts like under my nose. Anyway,
Ew.
gotta keep myself awake.
Ammonia.
Anyway, I gave this movie a 5 because I heard you say one of the critical reviews said that it's refreshing with all those slasher remakes and zombie films coming out. And wow, what a dire fucking situation we must have been in at the time this movie came out if this was refreshing in any way to anyone.
It was 2008, so...
Yeah, Friday the 13th, 2009 hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it only did get worse.
Anyway, I think that this movie was exactly what I want, and this is the exact kind of movie that put me off of watching horror for so long, because I thought this was what all horror movies were.
Yeah.
which is boring and pointless and cheesy as hell.
That's
That being
2008,
said,
baby.
it is now that I have seen a lot of horror movies.
We have Martyrs, Saw 5, Lake Mungo.
Okay, I haven't watched many of these. Bad year for horror.
No, that's
Okay.
No,
Did you hear him say Saw 5?
Martyrs and Lake Mungo are both like hugely
Martyrs and Lake
well-regarded.
Mungo are both deep cuts, though. I do know that much. They're both ones that people
I
are
wasn't
like,
aware of that.
if you want to see something really fucked up, you should watch Martyrs or Lake Mungo. That is always what
that's
I'm
fair.
hearing.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my point being,
Warzone.
it's like, that being said, it is like a totally bog standard version of what I expect 2000s horror movies to be. And it was entertaining at points. And I did like some of the ideas that were used. I just think that it like didn't really do anything that was like actually interesting. So 5 at most 5.
I'm seeing the Prom Night remake in here.
I
Shudder,
saw Repo the
which-
Genetic Opera, which is one of the most cringy movies I've ever watched in my life, and I love it.
Damn it. I hate it. And I thought I found someone that also hated it.
What, Repo the Genetic Opera?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, this is gonna get me a lot of. I thought it was one of the worst written anything I've ever watched. It is so cringe. There's no other word for it. It is deeply, deeply cringy, and I don't know if I'll be able to watch it again. But for what it is that unapologetically, and I really enjoyed a lot of the kind of like 2000s stupid steampunk energy that it had, and I honestly cannot hate it for that. So I had fun. But that's not the movie we're talking about. We're talking about Mirrors, and Mirrors suck 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yours didn't suck. Nina doesn't know what good movies is.
Well, then why don't you give your rating?
I'm just putting out a
Nina,
lot
get
of...
out of here. You're
My
leaving.
headache is making me say things that are mean and terrible, but
It's
Ambi
not
and
me, it's the
Roseanne over
headache.
here
Just like
saying
in
mean
the
things.
movie, it's not the
No,
young
no, it's
religious
the-
girl. It's the mirrors.
yeah, it's the Mirrors.
Super
This
late
is the
stage
Mirrors.
sleepaway camp
Schizophrenia.
remake.
All right.
Man, there wasn't actually like a lot of terrible late stage franchise movies, a lot of remakes, a lot of shit in 2008,
I mean,
which is
this
there's
is-
always a lot of shit.
Oh, what
But,
were
like-
we getting in like the previous couple of years though? Because I feel like that's kind of probably the bigger factor here, right?
Yeah, Ratatouille.
Whoa.
Oh no, we got Hot
Terrifying
Fuzz
horror
in
movie.
2007. We got I Am Legend. So that's that. I Am Legend
Legend.
was like critical mass zombie era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 1408.
Oh, how about that?
Zombies Halloween remake, the Poughkeepsie tapes, that which isn't very popular. I don't know why.
That's
brought
not
that
exactly a
up as,
big name, but like still.
Sweeney Todd,
Mm-hmm.
Zodiac. 2006 gave us The Host, Silent Hill.
I need to hear less about what movies came out.
Yeah.
And more
Yeah, I know.
about
Sorry, I
what
was just-
you all think about these.
Yeah. Anyway, I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was actually kind of fun. I've watched it twice this year now. And I've said this before, you know, I was so kind of afraid of this poster for a while. It's a sick poster. I really like it. The poster that's on Letterboxd is the one that I've seen, by the way. There is a poster that has Kiefer Sutherland and then a mirrored Kiefer Sutherland underneath him. I need to get ahead of this.
Not that one.
And by ahead, I mean I'm behind, probably, in my defense. That is not the poster that
No,
scared
it's the
me.
one on
I'm not
IMDb,
afraid of
right?
2 Kiefer Sutherlands. Yeah.
I'm afraid
The
of
one
one
on
Kiefer
Letterboxd.
Sutherland
I am.
myself. I mean, speak for yourself. But if he entered my house, I
It's
would
just
panic.
a girl screaming and afraid. And that is the one that I used to be afraid of.
Yeah, it's got a very like Dark Throne Transylvanian Hunger feel to it almost, except it's in a far more like grounded 2000s kind of way. It's a solid ass poster. Hot damn.
No, it's really good. I like it. And it's not, the movie is not as good as the poster, but that's okay. The poster, frankly, even though the poster is taken from like a movie frame, because there is like a moment where I'm pretty sure that poster came from, it does not embody the movie to me, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I really like this, generally speaking. How about Emma?
I would respectfully request going last.
How about
Fair enough.
Jade?
Fair enough. Well, so I am always deeply, deeply conflicted going into a movie that is made by my perennial nemesis, Alexandre Aja. Ever since I watched his movie High Tension, which came out in 2003, pretty early on in his career, big middle of the, the big ass New French Extremity movement. It's it's pretty solid. It's got some good effects, great kills and stuff. It's got some writing that makes a number of people angry. Characters that my problem with Alexandre Aja typically is that like I don't think he should be allowed anywhere near like things like character or dialogue. I think he has a good visual sense and a good sense for like creating a moment in a movie, right? I think he
Sounds
can
like Zack Snyder.
a little bit. I think he's better at it than Zack Snyder is. But he's also less creative with his lighting than Zack Snyder is, so maybe it balances out. I don't know. I feel like I always want him to be doing something different from what he is doing, but for some reason my mind refuses to categorize this as like a problem with him. It's more just like choices that he is consistently making, and every time I see another one of his movies I'm like, ooh, maybe this time. This was not the time. This movie is not doing it for me. It's got all the typical problems that I have with an Alexandre Aja movie. It's got a couple of names in the credits that I kind of look for. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Greg Nicotero did the practical effects for this one. You may remember Greg Nicotero from me talking about things like when we covered Day of the Dead, and a couple of other things since then. He learned from Tom Savini. He's widely known currently for having done all these zombie effects on The Walking Dead, blah, blah, blah. He's a guy who does good work, and the handful of times that you see the work that he did, it looks fucking good. But goddamn it, it's 2008, and we got these shit-ass visual, digital effects fucking everywhere. And on one hand, actually, there was a moment where we get some of that, what I consider to be classic 2000s looking stuff, right? Where you have an effect that was definitely built practically, but then they have a little bit of CGI to like bolster it a little bit. And I always remember that as being one of the like really bad looking things of the 2000s. But seeing it alongside the shitty CGI in the movie, I was kind of like, oh man, this actually, it's distinctive of the era, right? But it actually has a really solid look to it that most like, pure digital effects that we see around the same time and recently as well simply do not look as good. So I feel like actually that's kind of a trend that I would love for us to go back to now. That said, though, the digital effects in this movie are a huge, huge problem for me. The writing is a huge, huge problem for me.
Oh,
Damn. Jade died.
damn. The mirror's got her.
I really hope that this is an internet issue and not a computer issue.
Has their computer been being fucky?
No. But not computer, power. Because it is raining. So maybe it's not raining. It was raining earlier. So my concern is that there's like the light is streaming through that window. There's no rain. Because my worry is if it was like a power out, we would have lost the first hour and a half of episode.
Yeah. This would be the lost episode.
I don't want a lost episode. Was that Jade? No!
Power just went out. Fuck. Should we just stop recording at this point?
Yeah, let's stop for the moment.
Okay, I'll just...
Well, that was weird. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry about that. I lost power while we were recording, and we were able to save most of the audio, but not all. Some of what I said will simply be lost forever. Anyway, Emma, what did you think of this movie?
I need to put an asterisk next to my rating. Because I was taking a page out of Nina's book, and I was drawing while watching the movie. But I am not as good at Nina at double focusing. So I think I may have been more critical of the movie had I been watching it like super focused. But for a split attention movie, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed this. At the beginning, was not vibing. Some of the practical effects were really cringy.
The beginning is
Some
super
of that-
rough on this one too. Like
It's really rough, yeah. And I posted as such in our little like Discord chat.
how far into the movie were you when you posted that? Just out of curiosity. It was a
I
gif of Jim
was-
from The Office, just for everyone's context.
There was a part where he's exploring. It's like right at the beginning of the movie, practically. He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
exploring the mirror realm, and he catches on fire with some really shitty VFX fire.
It is some of
Um,
the worst VFX fire. We were talking about this on the Devil's Candy episode. This is right up there with the fire from the Devil's Candy. It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. So I think it was like right around there, or like right afterwards.
Yeah.
So I was
It's like half an hour in. Like
Yeah. At that point, I was fully in Noah, why are you making me watch this movie? But then a little bit later, I posted another GIF, which is Jim Carrey freaking out, and that happened at a very specific scene, and that's around when the movie kind of flipped for me, and I started enjoying it more. And I don't know. Is it a good movie? Probably not. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I think I did. And I think as the movie went on more and more, I enjoyed it more and more, which is rare. But I gave it a 7.8 asterisk. But yeah,
Nice.
I don't know. Fun time. I had a good time. I think the ending could have been more fun. I'll have comments on that.
a lot of it could have been more fun.
Yeah, but overall, I had a good time.
I will say I liked it as much the second time as I did the first time.
It
which,
manages
since I
to
watched
stay
it
fun.
twice in a month, is actually kind of good.
It's pretty
Kind of
good.
impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah, what it lacks in quality, it is fun.
yeah. But fun is not something that the audience needs to be aware of before they watch
No.
this movie.
I mean, no.
But
No,
there
there's
are
actually
there's some other
there's some
content that we
content
should
in
let the
this.
audience know about.
Well,
before
wait.
they hop in.
Noah hasn't rated the movie yet, Emma. I know you have a hard time remembering.
Yeah, Noah did.
What? No, he didn't.
Yes.
Did you do that while my
He went
power was
before
out?
you. No, he
No.
went before you.
I went first.
Weren't you
Well,
using?
I was second
Nina
after
went
me.
first.
Hold up. What the fuck?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got
He
bullied
gave it
into
a
going
7
first.
out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. I really enjoy it.
I entirely
How
missed that.
dare you ruin my perfect transition?
I'm so sorry. I would never want to do that.
No, it's fine. We'll pack it up to the content warnings, people. Content warnings. We got mirrors. We got gore, suicide, domestic violence, substance abuse, child endangerment, and some real asylum shit with our medical malpractice. Like certified 2003 scary movie garbage asylum shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably kind of scary, actually.
Oh, Noah, actually, I'm so sorry. Can I ask you?
Pizza.
You gave this. I am eating pizza, chat. You gave this a 7 out of 10.
Yep.
But you also watched the Korean movie that this was based on. How did you like that one?
Well, I'm not going to lie to anyone. I pirated that movie because it is not available in the US like anywhere.
But piracy is a crime, Noah.
You have to
wouldn't
buy
steal a
a
car.
secondhand DVD on Amazon.
You wouldn't buy a
To
secondhand
access this
DVD
movie.
on Amazon.
I never would. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And I rate that one a 3 out of 5. My stream was really buffery. I had to jump different sites 3 times. And at the end of the day, it was a little late in the evening for me to actually sit and watch a non-English movie, I think.
Yeah.
I woke up at 8 the next day. This movie kept me up until like 11:30.
Oof.
It wasn't the best planned day of my life.
Yeah.
That being said, I still like it. And I think it is a more cohesive, better story than Mirrors. Just real quick before we continue talking about Mirrors, let me tell you guys about Into the Mirror. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Into the Mirror takes place in a big department store again. But it's more like an outlet mall type department store
Oh, okay.
rather than just a singular monolith department store
Mm-hmm.
that had a fire in it the year before. It has been fully repaired and about to be reopened to the public. But there was the like chief security guard at the time had made unwelcome advances against a woman and did not go well. He kills her, puts her in the wall, and there were a bunch of data people that helped cover it up and wrote her off as one of the people who had died in the big fire the year before. Like, so she's been in there for a while, right? Like, it happened very close to the fire. She has a twin sister, and her ghost is inhabiting the mirrors at the mall, and also is simply present at times. She actually physically converses with our main character a couple times. She sends hidden camera footage, and it's hidden because she's a ghost with a camera, so she can't be seen. But she sends that footage to different news agencies. And it's more of one of those like commentary on greed kind of movies than it is anything else at the end of the day. And it's kind of cool. And also about people who like don't know how to fucking treat women normal.
Right.
You know, a classic one of those stories.
That's nothing like this movie at all, actually.
No, nothing at all. No. The similarities include the end of the movie, the mirrors being haunted,
the department store,
the setting of a burned department store, except the department store in the Korean movie is not burned because it's been repaired.
It really feels less like a remake and more like a inspired by, I guess.
Yes, I believe the credits of Mirrors say inspired by Into the Mirror.
Okay.
But that being said, they are similar in like major points, and they diverge pretty heavily. Like the reason mirrors are important is the main character of Into the Mirror was a cop, and he tried to shoot a guy who had taken this girl hostage, and he shoots the guy's reflection in the head because he was in a hall of mirrors situation, and he couldn't tell which one was the real one. He shoots the mirror in the head, and the guy kills the hostage, and he feels awful about that, and now he is the new chief security guard at his father's department store. Which is, spoilers, not very similar, but slightly similar to what happened to Kiefer Sutherland.
Well, I mean, we don't really get a whole lot of clear exposition on what his particular
we know he killed a cop
was.
By accident.
Yeah, and the reporter, the newspapers just like reported that straight, as though the police department would ever admit to the fact that that was what happened.
Oh, right.
Like, I saw that headline right
like,
at the beginning of the movie, and I was just like, "What? Come on.
Yeah, right. But
this was 2008. Police brutality didn't exist back then.
Oh shit, that's right, and it doesn't.
Thank you,
right?
Obama. Obama's really helping us out in this episode. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Obama. He wasn't even elected when this movie came out.
Yeah, he wasn't president yet. That was 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 2008 is when people voted for him.
Probably after whenever this movie came out, but yeah.
It was a concerted effort by the, whatever, anyway. So that's Into the Mirror. I would say if you can find a way to watch it, it's worth watching. It's nice. The story flows with a lot more sense, and it is a more subdued movie than Aja's remake.
That makes sense.
Which, that's not a commentary on Aja as much as it is a commentary on... Well, as much as it is a commentary on the fact that it was a remake.
Right, yeah.
And obviously, the original is going to flow better than the remake. Anyway, it's pretty scary when people remake things.
You're right, it is.
But it's probably not the scariest when people remake things.
You're right, it is.
It's probably on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's probably a 1.5, potentially.
I mean, domestic violence is pretty scary.
You're not an expert enough in scary things to know how scary something is.
I was shooting in the dark, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I think it's
much like the cop in this movie when he killed another cop.
It's my job to say how scary things is. And I think this movie is a 3 out of 10 scary.
Ooh, okay.
Specifically, mainly just for kind of like one scene. Bathtub.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah,
God, I
it's
love
one
that
of the
scene.
stronger scenes of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most importantly, Kiefer Sutherland isn't in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
Okay,
I don't want
actually,
to shit on him
let
too
me add
hard.
one
Man
more content
detracts
warning.
from this movie every single scene. He has this like 2000s leading man problem where literally no matter what the problem is, all he knows how to do is shout about it.
I was just about to say, new content warning. Kiefer Sutherland is the angriest protagonist I think I've seen in a long time.
He's up there for sure. But I feel like the movie keeps wanting us to feel bad for him, but every time he talks, I'm just like, I don't feel bad for this fucker.
No, that's actually 100%.
He's
I
just
definitely
a shitty
made some
ex-cop
note
who
about
keeps
that.
shouting at his wife, and she doesn't want him around. Can you imagine why? And he just keeps showing up anyway. Like,
But anyway,
ugh.
3. Thank you, Emma. I am, as is our... Oh my god, this is huge. As is our tradition, I am going to read the plot synopsis off Wikipedia so we can get into this.
Let's do it.
Into this.
I should have taken the time that Jade lost power to summarize this better. We open with a security guard running through a subway station until he enters a room he cannot escape and starts begging his reflection in a mirror for his life. His reflection uses a shard of glass to slice into his own throat. The wound reflects upon the real-life guard's body, killing him. Next paragraph. Ben Carson, a suspended police detective, begins his day as a night security guard at the Mayflower, a luxury department store gutted by a fire and shuttered 5 years prior. The building still contains numerous mirrors from the store. On Ben's first night of patrol, he finds a mirror that appears to be covered in handprints, but only on the reflected side of the glass. He sees an open door in the reflection that is actually closed. Over time, Ben begins to see more intense visions, which he initially shrugs off as hallucinations. He soon finds the wallet of Gary Lewis, the previous night guard and the man from the beginning of the film, who supposedly killed himself. Inside is a note that says Essaker. After noticing the absence of blood on the mirror shard in Gary's crime photos, Ben is convinced that the mirrors make people do things to themselves that they are not actually doing, which I can't remember if that is actually something talked about in Into the Mirror, but it is an effect that they do, which is kind of cool. Meanwhile, Ben's sister Angie, who, editor's note, Noah thought Angie was the person Ben was having an affair with for the first 30 minutes of the movie because the subtitles on Hulu are off by about 40 seconds on my laptop versus like my TV.
Oh.
So I had to turn them off. So I missed when he called her his sister in the first 5 seconds of them seeing each other.
Oh, it's the first thing he says to her. Yeah, he says, "Hey, sis," which is a thing that people say to their siblings.
Exactly. And definitely not just a thing that pornos do, you know? Yeah, but I missed that, so I thought this was the woman he was having an affair with, and that he also was trying to get back with his wife. Just throwing that out there.
Was there talk of him
meanwhile,
having an affair in the movie? Was that something I meant? Oh, okay.
Nope.
There are already multiple points in the movie where I was just like, am I stupid or are they not explaining this well?
Ben contains multitudes. But meanwhile, Ben's sister Angie is killed by her reflection as it grips its jaw and slowly pulls the mouth apart, causing her to bleed profusely. Ben is distraught when he finds her body. In anger, he attempts to destroy the mirrors at the Mayflower, but they are impervious to damage. He demands to know what the mirrors want, and cracks appear in one of the mirrors, spelling out the word Essaker. Ben begins searching for any information on anyone named Essaker in the newspaper articles that Gary Lewis sent him and his contacts in the police force. Failing to do so, he instead searches for Terrence Barry, the security guard who started the fire at the Mayflower 5 years prior.
Such a silly name.
Learning Terrence had already died, Ben goes into the mental institute where he was incarcerated prior to his death and is shown a video of Barry's doctor that was used in Terrence's trial where he blames the mirrors for his family's death after he failed to find Essaker. Realizing his family is in danger, Ben races home and begins removing all the mirrors in the house. The family nanny, Rosa, concerned over Ben's behavior, warns Amy, who comes home to find Ben painting all the mirrors that he cannot remove. Threatening to call the police, which would ensure that Ben would never be able to see his kids again. That's an interesting little aside. Ben takes Amy outside and shoots a mirror to show that they cannot be damaged. However, he's surprised to find they do not repair themselves. And upon seeing his kids' terrified faces, Ben leaves. Ben enters the flooded basement of the Mayflower and finds a small sign stating Psychiatric Studies and St. Matthew's Hospital underneath. He moves to the site of the leak, which is flooding the basement, and begins pulling at the tiles and brick wall and finds a room with a chair surrounded by mirrors beyond it. This is a real thing, a psychomantium. Oh my god.
Psychomantium is what it's called. The mirror room.
The Psychomantium.
That's called a psychomantium?
Realizing,
Holy
yes,
shit.
this is a big version of that. I'll look into this later.
It's put together like it's intended to be like a one-man panopticon almost.
Yeah, so this is definitely closer to that than a true Psychomantium.
Oh?
But we'll talk about that later. Realizing the Mayflower was built on the site of an earlier hospital, Ben asks his police friend Larry, Barry, and Gary. Whatever. Nina said Terry. Help him locate the patient employee manifest from the hospital. Larry finds the name Anna Essiker, a patient of the psychiatric hospital. She was 12 years old at the time and died in a mass suicide. Ben looks through Anna's file and finds an authorization and consent form that neglected her death certificate, stating she had been discharged from the hospital 2 days before the suicide and is led to believe that Anna is still alive. Meanwhile, Ben's wife Amy discovers her son Michael's reflection acting differently from real-life Michael. In a panic, she calls Ben, who immediately returns home. Together, they cover every reflective surface in the house with green paint. They also cover the windows with newspaper and remove anything with a reflection, such as picture frames. Ben locates Anna Essiker's childhood home and discovers she was as a child, she was violent and uncontrollable and diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. She was taken by a doctor, Dr. Kane, from St. Matthew's Hospital, who believed she had a rare personality disorder. His treatment was to confine Anna in a chair surrounded by mirrors, believing this would cure her disorder by forcing her to confront her own reflection. Ben is told by Anna's brother, Robert, that when she returned, apparently cured, strange things started happening with the mirrors at their home. As a result, her family sent her to a convent, St. Augustine's Monastery, where mirrors are forbidden.
The mirror room is not a psychomantium because a psychomantium only has like one mirror in it. It is a tool for catroptromancy, which is divination using a mirror. The idea of a psychomantium is that you have a small enclosed area set up with a sort of a comfortable chair and very dim lighting. You set up the single mirror with an angle so that it doesn't reflect anything toward you except for darkness, and you're supposed to look deeply into it in order to see spirits that are trying to communicate you, or some people use it for scrying as well.
Mm-hmm.
A very
that's what I was
concept
seeing here,
from the
and
thing
I'm
that
like,
we've
this
got in
is
this movie, though.
Yeah, absolutely nowhere near what the definition is.
Yeah.
Someone just learned what a psychomantium was and wanted to link it in here.
Mm-hmm.
Or Aja didn't know, and it was actually what he said it was called.
Well, actually, we're going to have something else pop up here that's even less consequential that I'm going to talk about in a minute. So I think there's a certain amount of, I don't really know about it, but it seems cooler this way to it, you know? We'll get to it, though.
Ben visits the convent and finds Anna alive and well, who explains that she was actually possessed by a demon, which was drawn from her and became trapped in the mirrors. She explains that it collects the souls of those it kills, and if she were to return, she would make it possible for the demon to be brought back into the mortal world, and she refuses to go back. Meanwhile, Amy discovers that Mikey is missing at home, and a thin reflective layer of water is completely covering the floor. It gives no reason for this. This is because Mikey goes and he floods the entire house. It is a very intentionally placed thin layer of reflective water.
Mm-hmm.
After putting her daughter, Daisy, in a safe closet, she finds Michael using a knife to scrape the paint from the mirrors. Amy tries to stop him, but he escapes, obviously possessed. Back to Ben, though. After threatening her at gunpoint, Ben returns with Anna to the Mayflower and straps her in the chair of the Psychomantium. Back at Ben's house, Michael is suddenly pulled through the water of the floor by his own reflection and begins to drown. At the Psychomantium, the lights begin to flicker and the building begins to shake as the demon in the mirrors are released. They repossess Anna and all the mirrors in the Mayflower explode. Simultaneously, Michael is released from the demon's grip and Amy is able to pull him to safety. The repossessed Anna then attacks Ben, who manages to kill her by igniting a nearby gas line, setting off a huge explosion. The old building starts to collapse violently and Ben is trapped under the ceiling while trying to escape. Ben then pulls himself out of the rubble and stumbles out of the building. Police and firemen are everywhere in the street, and a body is seen being taken in a bag by paramedics, but nobody notices Ben. He looks at the older security guard's name tag and sees that it is written backward, realizing everything is in reverse, like in a mirror. He comes upon a mirrored surface in the city and fails to see his own reflection as he reaches out to touch it. He realizes that he has died in the rubble and is trapped in the mirror world. His hands appears as a handprint on the glass surface in the living world.
Solid final shot.
It truly is.
I like that.
It's a good final shot. And it also impresses me a lot that Wikipedia manages to drain all the soul and a lot of relevant information out of its plot synopses.
Yeah.
But this is why you should watch the movie. We're not here to just regurgitate. This is
Yeah.
just to give context when we yap.
I would like to give greater context to one thing that's in that synopsis there, if that's all right.
Please do.
So
Yeah.
it says that when he gets Anna Essiker and she's in the convent and everything, this synopsis says she goes with him after he threatens her with a gun. The way that the movie plays out, it is very clearly like shown that he's like violently coerced her to come with him here. But then when they arrive and he goes to strap her into the chair, she's like telling him what to do. And he's like, "Are you sure about this?" And she's like, "It's for your family, Mr. Carson," because his name is Ben Carson, which is also not the movie's fault, but it's distracting.
You're right.
And at that point, suddenly the movie is kind of acting as though she's a willing participant here, even though he most definitely threatened her into showing up. A little bit confused there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does make it sound actually as extreme as it is, though, because the movie kind of softens it a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, at gunpoint, he drags her back to this department store is actually what does happen.
Like, yeah,
though.
it
There's
is
just
actually
enough
that
fluff.
brutal and unfeeling. He has decided that she's the one who's supposed to die from this problem and not him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to hear about the inconsequential thing?
Yes.
He has a tattoo on his forearm. I do not know if this is a tattoo that Kiefer Sutherland has. I don't think it is, because the way that it looks in the one scene that you get a good look at it, it's either applied to look very fresh or it's just very, very fake. It is a bunch of what look like, Viking runes or something, right? This is something that I can read. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Like most white dudes who get Viking tattoos, it's just spelling out words in English. Or at least we're working backwards from that assumption, because what it spells out, if you stick too closely to any established runic alphabet, it actually doesn't make sense. It's got a whole bunch in it that doesn't work. It's using the Othala rune completely wrong, even, because it does a specific phonetic sound. It's not just an O from the English alphabet used the same way as the O from the English alphabet. It makes the O, the long O sound. You don't use it the two places that this thing uses it. Very frustrating. But also, it's got characters that occur in one runic alphabet and not in another, and then other characters that are in that other one but not in the first one. So it's very clear this is kind of like a mutt combination of runic alphabets, which seems straightforward enough for a tattoo artist in the 2000s to have done, right? Or I don't know, somebody making a movie perhaps just picking the runes that look the coolest, because that's very much going to be your biggest set of concerns, right? So if we look at a series of different runic alphabets, which are, Noah, the one that you and I are the most familiar with is Anglo-Saxon runes, actually, or it's a fictional alphabet that's most akin to Anglo-Saxon runes. This is not that. This is most definitely a combination of Futhark runes and a couple of others, fucking Marco Manic a little bit in there as well, and a little bit of medieval, but if you assume it to be a mixture of different runic alphabets, you can extrapolate that it says, "I trust you to kill me."
Huh.
What is the significance of this here? Is that a tattoo that Kiefer Sutherland just has? Because I don't know enough about that guy to know that. What if I just Google Kiefer Sutherland
tattoos? That's what I did too. That's his real tattoo.
He actually has that. Oh, man. Okay, well, that's
Reddit, R. Norse, Kiefer Sutherland's strange younger Futhark tattoo.
Yeah, except it's not
That's
properly
his real...
younger Futhark, because it's got other shit mixed into it. It's got letters that aren't in younger Futhark.
Yeah. Probably why it's called Strange Younger Futhark Tattoo.
Yeah. Ooh, and I've just found a picture of him posing with his tattoo right next to some other guy's really big Othala tattoo. That is not a great look. Ugh.
Yeah, no, that's
pretty bad.
For those who don't know, that is one of the ones that the neo-Nazis have claimed.
Yeah, if you just see that one rune by itself, it might as well be a swastika.
Yeah. Well, hey, now we know.
Knowing's half the battle.
It sure is. Unfortunately, the other half is violence.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. Glad we figured that one out. It's
All right,
not
so
a
it's
weird
not a
character
movie
choice.
thing that makes it
That's
less
Kiefer
confusing,
Sutherland.
but it's actually something that he has, and that makes it more confusing.
I liked the bathtub scene.
The bathtub scene
I
was
rocks.
kind of like
the
the
bathtub
turning
scene.
point for me, where I was like, oh, maybe this movie has some legs. For the audience, it's the scene where, so for some reason, the ghost goes after Kiefer Sutherland's sister.
Yeah, it just starts going after
And
his
she's-
loved ones. I think it does it in the order that he appears in those particular mirrors after seeing the ghost or something like this.
Oh.
That's what I was assuming, at
Interesting.
least. I might be wrong.
Yeah, but she goes to take a bath, and when she walks away from the mirror, oh my gosh, her reflection is still in the mirror. And then she gets in the bath, and the mirror her pulls, like, kind of puts her hands in her mouth at the top and bottom, and then starts ripping her jaw apart. And then she's in the tub freaking out as her mouth is being opened and then pulled apart, and then her jaw comes off. It's pretty cool.
It looks rad.
Yeah.
It's the best effect in the
Looks
entire
pretty
movie.
rad.
Well, one of two, I
Yeah.
think. The other one
Yeah.
is just in terms of really good looking effects. I love the one where their son sinks into the water on the floor that's obviously not deep enough for him to sink into.
Mm-hmm.
We then get a shit ass digital effect that shows his reflection still in the water, even though the water's getting splashed around and stuff, and it looks terrible. But then we get another good one where he floats up out of the floor, and it's shot from such an angle that it just looks like he's coming up out of water that is fully not deep enough for him to be in. It looks really fucking good.
Yeah. There are some, and this is the issue with Aja, right?
Yep.
There's so much genuinely inspired filmmaking that he can do. And then he also made Crawl.
Yeah.
And he also made Mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, like there's just some really bad choices.
Produced P2,
And
if you recall that discussion from when we covered P2.
which one? Oh yeah, he was the writer also.
Yeah, it's him and his typical co-writer Gregory Levasseur.
Yeah.
That
so
is essentially one of their movies, just with somebody else on the directing wheel.
I'm gonna say it. It is a good thing I didn't watch any of Aja's stuff until recently because I loved P2, and Aja could have become one of my very overly favored filmmakers.
He could have been one of
if
your
I'd
special
found him
guys.
at a slightly different. Yeah, if I'd found him at a slightly different point in my life.
Okay,
which
so
isn't bad.
Actually, this brings me to something that I was planning on talking about when I lost power. Actually, the problems with this movie, the issues with the characters and the dialogue and stuff that I have, right, are entirely forgivable in my mind when I'm watching a Giallo movie. It occurred to me partway through this movie, like toward the end-ish, that like if this movie was just made with a slightly different creative flair, a little bit of wacky lighting and a slightly too big, goofy soundtrack, maybe, I would probably fucking love this thing. My thing about Alexandre Aja is he is always making something that's just like that far off from something I would absolutely fucking love, except for Crawl. Crawl is
I've never seen
indefensible.
Crawl. I just know you hated it.
Don't. It's just not good. But I don't know. I feel like this is one of those movies that exposes how easy it is to make me like a movie versus to make me hate it. Because like if all it takes is a little goofy thing that you do with the lighting and the soundtrack, I'm so fucking easy. And yet.
And yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that this movie, and by like I mean I think it's silly, which a lot of this movie is silly.
Very. It should have leaned into it, honestly.
That would have been nice. But the fact that this is called Mirrors, and they're like, it haunts the mirrors, look out. But then it starts showing up in the reflections of things that aren't mirrors.
Yeah. So it's
like
just
water.
all reflections.
And I'm like, it's all reflections then. It's not just mirrors.
I feel like there's a thing that happens like later on in the movie where it like suddenly realizes a bunch of its own implications and like all at once starts working with them.
That makes sense.
It doesn't make sense though. It means you need to do another pass with over the script. You gotta write the movie the same all the way through.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where firstly I simply would not have shot my colleague and murdered him and lost my job. I think that's pretty easy to do, frankly.
I would have
but that's
shot
just
my
me.
colleague and not lost my job anyway, but
Yeah.
But I cannot think of a world where I would have taken this job. This is a hellish job, if we're being honest. Because I'm afraid of mirrors, and I don't like the dark, and I don't like abandoned buildings.
well, and it's like perfectly polished mirrors in a burned out building. It's like your environments are specifically tailored to be scary looking, and then also there's just a pile of mirrors everywhere that are perfect and pristine.
Not gonna lie, if it was like decently paying, I would take a security gig at like a creepy location. Absolutely.
If the price is right, yeah. I might not do it for very long.
I don't really believe in. I kind of believe in ghosts, but not like seriously. And I don't believe in like curses and things.
I don't believe in ghosts or curses,
Some,
but I'm
like-
not gonna go looking for them either. You know what I mean?
If I'm being paid, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the end of this movie because I feel like it would have been way more fun. So the ending of this movie is like 5 minutes where Kiefer Sutherland has defeated this mirror ghost and like walks out of the building and all the cops and stuff are around and he's like, yeah, I'm safe. Yeah, huzzah. But then he realizes everything is mirrored. And he's like, oh no, I'm in a mirrored realm. And then he's like running around freaking out that he's in the mirror realm and nobody can see him. And then it like shows his family and stuff and they're all fine. I think it would have been a lot more fun if he's like the end of the movie happens kind of the same, but he's like walking into the sunset without realizing he's in the mirror realm yet.
Ooh.
But we, the audience, see like the police car and other things have mirrored lettering. And so we're clued in of like, oh shit, he's in the mirror realm. And then cut where it's like 2 weeks later and it shows his family and they're like in their little playroom and the mom's talking to the kids and we see that they're all fine. And then we see like a handprint on like one of the mirrors. I think that would have been more fun rather than like over explaining that he's stuck in the mirror realm.
It really feels like if you're going to hit us with the he's in the mirror reveal, that needs to happen like right before the credits roll, right?
Yeah.
But
it happens and then we see his family. It's just a bit weird.
I kind of feel like we just shouldn't have seen his family at all. Right, like I feel like
in the movie.
No, not in the entire movie,
end,
but just in
the
this the ending. He's in the mirror scene. I feel like we shouldn't see that, and I don't even hate the showing him being in the mirror and freaking out for a couple minutes thing, because I kind of feel like showing that for a little bit longer does emphasize the like he's in hell for eternity kind of aspect of it, you know, where it's like he is just stuck. And there's nothing he can do, and he's just there. And then to be able to sit with that for a second before seeing the handprint on the window and then the slow zoom out and stuff, like, I don't know, it kind of makes you stew in it longer, but also it feels so clumsy. It doesn't feel like a slick, well thought out ending.
You know, can I tell you something, though? It is the same ending in Into the Mirror, firstly.
Okay.
Almost completely by the book the same. But it's a little more beautiful haunting in Into the Mirror, which is kind of neat.
Okay.
The way it like fades out and changes and stuff. But the minute he walks out of the Mayflower, all right, and I'm not trying to brag. The second this man walks out, I see the backward police thing, and I'm like, oh yeah. Because it's written backwards so you can see it in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Police cars don't do that. That's just ambulances. And I didn't remember that. So I saw that and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. That's probably a reference to the fact that this movie's called Mirrors. Just the fact that it's so big and on display. That's kind of funny. And then it shows that he's in a mirror and I'm like, well, I feel like an idiot. But yeah, let's see. This movie has way more like crackpot science in it than I expected.
Yeah.
There's this insane quote about people looking into mirrors and getting lost about like who your true self is.
Yeah.
And getting this like weird separation of the you and the you in the mirror. That is a direct quote from the original movie, which makes just as little sense in that as it does in this. Except in that one, it was being used to like gaslight a woman who was like, I swear to God, it's my sister in the mirror and not me. And they're like, it's because her sister's dead and she went crazy. And in this one, it's just a guy who's just like, so I had this theory, right? Okay, so in the mirror, we're going to take some schizophrenic people and lock them in the mirror basement. And I swear to God, it's going to fix their schizophrenia. I promise. I'll pay you. And then he gives the kid back saying, I'm Dr. Marvin Monroe. Do you have a schizophrenic daughter? Lock her in my mirror basement.
Please.
And it's just a really funny movie to watch with the thought of, I can't believe they actually should have just hired an exorcist. But I also have this memory that like they tried to get someone to like pray the demon out.
I don't believe
They said that.
Yeah, the family does. But I have this feeling, call me crazy, I think that family is Baptist and not Catholic, and that's why it didn't work.
Only Catholic exorcisms work. Yeah, everybody knows.
Yeah. Demons don't respect Baptists. They only respect Catholics.
Well, neither do I, to be fair.
No, I'm not going to bring that up on podcast, actually.
Oh? You had an exorcism, or...
I have a story.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna bring it up on stream.
Not today.
Or not stream, but recording.
You hear that, listeners? You're missing
Everyone.
out.
Yeah.
Chat, Nina's back. Everyone
That's the
applaud.
Patreon.
Holy shit, Nina's
the
back.
Patreon cut of the podcast. We talk about Emma's exorcism story.
The joke
Welcome
is that
back.
we don't have a Patreon.
Yeah, we don't have a Patreon.
We're talking about the movie now. We've gotten through everything else. We're just doing normal shit.
Oh, okay. I have a question.
Winding down a
Yeah.
little.
And maybe
Yeah.
you've already talked about this. What are the main differences between this and the Cade?
I'll tell you off because we have already talked about
Okay,
it.
cool. I do want to hear about that.
the-
So maybe
the-
I'll
Very
just have to
different.
listen to this podcast.
The 5
episode.
second like fast forward is more subdued, better, more like aware of the direction it's going.
5 seconds is up.
Slightly better paced.
Thank you, Jade.
I did great.
I don't really have much to say about this movie if you guys have already talked about most
We've
of
been
it.
talking about the movie itself for maybe 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So we got time.
An awful lot
Great.
of that's been joke cracking as well.
Mhm.
It's kind of
It's
just
not
Night
a-
at the Museum, but if it was a horror movie in a certain way.
It really is.
Except it's not as interesting as Night at the Museum.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I wanted to
first
talk
half
about
of the
this.
movie is like speed running a shorter movie, isn't it? I feel like the advancement of the plot
Yes.
is so rushed at the beginning.
Have we talked about how some of the scenes just end?
No, so that was one of the things I
Or
wanted to
rather,
talk
the
about.
following scene just starts.
So,
Yeah.
when we were watching it, we called it James Bonding because much like in a James Bond movie where they're like, well, where could this be? Well, Bond, I think it's in Singapore. And then suddenly you're in Singapore,
Yeah,
and that's all that matters.
I wrote a note at one
this
point
one-
that says Ben Carson attended the Laurie Strode in Halloween Kills School of Exposition, which is where you learn nothing, show nothing, and just start saying things as though new information has been acquired.
Yeah. Yeah, you just start saying shit.
Because this guy,
and-
he just starts saying shit at a certain point in the movie, and it's like, well, I
And-
guess I have to accept this, but like, when
So-
did he learn it?
I have a huge big beef with the mirror demon. He
Killing
asks,
people is illegal. This man is so
he asks
problematic.
the main character to find Essiker or else, right?
Mhm.
And then even though the main character is going through the like act of finding Essiker, he just starts like doing shit anyways. And it's like, it's going to take some time for this guy to find Essiker for you. Calm down. And
Yeah.
also, the main character is pretty consistently finding information, but it's not the thing he wants. He's like discovering important information towards his investigation, but it's not the answer.
Yeah.
He wants the answer. And so everything he finds out up until he finds the answer, he just gets pissed. He's like, oh, God damn it, it's not the answer.
I love the one part where his like one cop friend gives him some information on someone, and he's like, oh man, that guy that you just mentioned, he killed his wife and family, and he over the phone just goes, yeah, I know about that, what else?
Right. So
It's like, you're a detective, right? So like,
Yeah.
Why are you so impatient?
The whole time, as he learns information, he's just angry that he didn't get the full thing told to him at any given point. And it's like, sir, you are supposed to figure that out. That was your job. Also, I mentioned this earlier. Angriest protagonists that we're supposed to, in theory, be rooting for that I've ever seen. That's probably not true, but I feel like it is.
There are so many scenes and aspects where the movie is very clearly setting him up for us to feel bad for him, because he's all, I haven't had a drink in 3 months, but you wouldn't know that because you never answer my calls.
And then she straight up says, yeah, Ben, I don't want to know that.
And
that's
she's like, I don't care about that, Ben.
On.
It's
unless she had some sort of court order, like saying that he is not to have any contact with his children.
She doesn't have legal ground here. But...
She doesn't have legal ground to just ignore his calls and then be mad when he shows up to spend time with his kids. Yeah. He has a legal right to his kids.
And no one ever says anything.
He can't go see them because of woke.
Because of woke. So I will say something. I hate this man very much, and I think the reason this movie goes up from like a 3 to a 5 is the ending.
Yeah,
I was like, if this man is not dead,
he's in hell.
No, it literally happened
in hell.
About 20 minutes from the end. Nino's like, I fucking can't stand this guy. He had better die.
Yeah,
I think that was about when he kidnapped a nun at gunpoint.
Yeah, when he kidnapped the nun. Also, the thing is, like, possessing and killing his child as he's doing what it wanted him to do. It's literally getting his way, and it's like, if you're gonna kill his kids anyway, maybe he would just stop, because it doesn't seem like doing what we're doing on purpose is gonna stop you.
I love how you just said the phrase he kidnapped a nun at gunpoint, but when we go to complain about him, we're all just like, he's so annoying, he just shouts and stuff. This guy sucks. Like, in the movie, he kidnaps a nun at gunpoint, and that's not even like a big thing for him as a character.
It's not even the worst thing he does.
Yeah, like...
I think
it's such a cartoonish thing for him to do.
Showing up to the poor nun. Also, can I just say what a non-reveal it is that the woman he's talking to is the person he's looking for as the nun? They just kind of let it slip partway through the conversation. There's no like da-da-da.
I kind of thought you were supposed to already know by the time he showed up there, actually, but...
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought she was talking like they were talking about someone else, and then about halfway through the story, she, like, pauses.
No, he goes there explicitly because he was told that she was sent to the convent to become a nun.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I thought that they were asking about where to find her, and then she's like... Okay, then that's on me. There were
a couple of other things, though, in the movie where I was like, am I stupid, or did they not explain what was happening here before this scene started? Because, like, when he gets to Flood Basement with the mirror room behind the wall in it, I watched that sequence of scenes, like, 3 times, and I was just like, who told him where this place is? Where is this place? What's going on?
Asked Noah to pause it.
Or is this movie bad at showing
itself? I asked Noah to pause, and I said, hey... Real quick, how did he know to do that?
Okay, so in a combination of correcting the Wikipedia summary and also clarifying the situation, here's what happened. Mm-hmm. The Wikipedia summary showed an open door behind him. It did not specify that even though it wasn't open in real life, it did get opened and he went down into the basement, which was flooded. Mm-hmm. Then Scarpielli, or whoever the guy is, said, oh, by the way, we got a plumber coming to fix the leak in the flooded basement. And then, according to the Wikipedia summary, he goes into the basement again because that was the last time he had a stroke of genius, I guess.
See, there it is. That's where you lose me.
And then he sees signs in the basement for the old hospital. And that is why he then tears the hole in the wall, because he saw light coming through the wall.
Okay.
I still think that's genuinely insane and not showed well through the movie at all.
I don't
think
it is.
Very valid.
I'm so glad you had that same moment, because when he started digging through the wall, I was like, how did we get here? And I will admit
for me,
to
he's
sometimes
walking
not
through the flooded hallways, and I'm just like, okay, one scene ago he was just driving his car, and now we're in unknown flooded basement. Did I just miss something? Am I dumb? Like,
yeah, he just kind
he
of
just
a lot.
shows up at
It's another symptom
places.
of this movie starting and stopping scenes just as it goes. Because
Mhm.
I'm watching a lot of stuff that is like Evil and The Terror both require you to be paying a decent amount of attention to follow the story. And what's frustrating specifically is like during The Terror, there were moments where I was working while I was watching and a character would say something and I'm like, oh, I must have missed that. But like I can put two and two together, or that a character would show up at a place and I'm like, oh, I must have missed the like lead up to this. But with this movie, there would be points where things would be happening and I was like, I don't know if I missed something or if this is just how we're doing this right now.
Yeah.
But it's really the other thing is just it's really bog standard as far as like the pace, the like story goes, but the way they decide to tell the story is a little weird.
It's like
it's
fast
very
and
basic.
slow and fast and slow, right?
I also think the conceit of the mirrors themselves is kind of not really capitalized on very well, because I think we have like maybe 3 or 4 scenes with the mirrors doing creepy shit early on. Then we have a long period of the mirrors doing fuck all in the middle, and then we have the climax where we start doing some interesting stuff again. And that kind of frustrated me a little bit, where I was like, okay.
Well, if the mirrors were still doing creepy shit in the middle, we would complain even more about the mirror monster not giving him time to investigate.
That's true.
No.
No, I wouldn't actually.
The pressure is still there. But he's just like, it's none of the cool stuff. Like, there's still stuff happening, I guess, but not the like neat shit where it's controlling people. And that's the shit I was there for, showing things that aren't there. That shit was sick. There's some really sick kills in this movie as well.
We have talked
obviously
about
the
that
bathtub one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The bathtub one was insane. That's up there with the cable deaths at the beginning of Ghost Ship for shit that would have absolutely fucked me up if I'd seen it when it came out.
Yeah. And then just doesn't really get followed up for the whole rest of the movie.
No, not really. No, it doesn't.
After that,
it's never topped
shitty
either.
Digital effects and a handful of like real good looking practical effects that I have already talked about. But there's one actually I'd like to run an idea past y'all.
Okay.
So the shots where we're seeing the digital effect on the mirrors, where it's like hands reaching out and it's like distending the mirror and everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so think back in time with me to literally 1984, Nightmare on Elm Street. We've got that like spandex wall effect that Freddy just puts his face into.
Yep.
Yeah.
To do the same thing with a mirror. I know that it wouldn't be perfect, but could you not stretch like a shiny piece of Mylar or something and just kind of do the same thing to get a practical version of this that looks better than the weird CG thing that they're doing?
Maybe, but I'm not gonna lie. There is a certain brand new brain rot that I've acquired that is CG should look like this again.
This is because we watched the Pirates movies again.
No, that's not it. Because the Pirates movies actually just look really good.
They do.
No, but there's a part of me that thinks mid-grade CG needs to be allowed to come back because it looks fine. His weird melty face, the bumpy hands through the mirrors. It's like, it's not great, but it looks fine. And I would rather that they spent more time doing the crazy practical effects that they did manage to pull off, and then we get an adequate face rip, or a pretty solid face rip, and an adequate mirror hit, like stuff like that. The healing mirror looks so horrendously ugly.
Yeah, it looks
and
dumb.
I love it.
It looks it reminds me of like, oh gosh, I don't even know. It reminds me of some of the Resi movies, honestly.
So this is actually something that George Miller, the director of the Mad Max movies, has been leaning into, where he's become less and less interested in hiding his CG versus his like practical effects, because rather than trying to make it all look like one seamless thing, he has decided to embrace the fact that CG is there and people know it. So he doesn't care if it's a little visible because he's trying to make an experience instead. And knowing that CG is there in his work should not take away the fact that it is still a good piece of
well, because it's an art style, and I think that we should admit that.
Yeah.
But I think that that's different from blood splatter PNGs superimposed over the exploding nun.
I would like to clarify. When I say that middling effects should be allowed to come back, I don't mean for blood. Blood needs to be replaced with real fake blood again.
I watched the special. I know I talked about this on the last episode. I watched the special bonus features for Abigail, and they talked about all the different blood engines and types of blood they made, because Radio Silence loves to put blood all over everything. And there's the scene where one of the characters is projectile vomiting blood, and obviously they fix it up in post, but he's got this giant fucking PVC tube of blood hooked up to the side of his face. I was like, I just want that again. I just want more Radio Silence corn syrup blood just gushing everywhere. And not so did Noah share our unrated debacle?
Oh no, I didn't bring that up yet. So the cover on the Wikipedia that I said I'm not afraid of, that is the cover for the unrated version of the film.
Which is the only version I saw when I was working in the video store.
So Nina was one of the people making fun of me.
No, I wasn't. I never thought that, but...
Whatever.
But we're Noah's I wonder if the version that we're watching is the unrated one. So he pulled up the side-by-side.
And the easiest scenes to spot, unfortunately, were at the beginning of the movie.
And it's such a little difference that it doesn't really matter. But specifically the exploding nun scene, which sounds like it should be awesome, but it's not. Noah's this is the unrated, is this the unrated or not? We can't tell, because it's the difference between the unrated and the normal version is 3 extra blood splatter PNG gifs. It's
a grand total of it's a grand total of maybe an extra 2 minutes of film. And considering that this is I believe Mirrors is PG-13. Let me fact check myself.
That does not sound correct.
It feels very correct.
With the face ripping?
Yeah, with the face ripping. They don't say the word fuck.
Okay, it is R. Never mind.
It's R? Okay.
It's R. My mistake. There is a different PG-13 that I have been thinking of recently.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought Abigail was PG-13, and then I'm watching with my little sister, and Dan Stevens is going fuck every 30 seconds, and I'm
I don't know why you would have thought that.
Because I actually just blocked him swearing out of my mind, because it's just so natural for the character.
Is your little sister not in her early 20s?
Oh no, that's not the point. It's just that I hadn't seen it until I was. That was the first time I'd seen it out of theaters, so I was just I had not seen it in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's just such a good poster.
It's a good poster, and those scenes with the face stretching and stuff were pretty good as well. I think the bad CG effects was did they have one where she didn't have a mouth, and then it was kind of rippy when she opened her mouth, and it elongated and got all kind of thready? Yeah. It's a classic. Mm-hmm. There's some things that I think horror directors and special effects artists have realized post 2000s look really, really good in art, but not great in movement. Mm-hmm. And that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
that's why we need more 2D horror films. Yeah, what, Emma?
That nun should have been willing to sacrifice herself.
Was she not?
From the get-go.
Kiefer Sutherland agrees.
Oh, from the get-go. Okay.
From the get-go.
After this poor nun has been forced to let the demon out, and now you're gonna make her put the demon back in again?
I love how that's the solution as well. We just need to put it back in. She just has to suck it up. That's the way that this has to go.
So I feel like Christians in media, especially this lady who came to this place when she was came to this convent when she was 12 or 13 or something. And then has been there her whole life, is now an old lady, has been a nun her entire life, is probably pretty devoutly religious at this point, because that's the context you live in. And you learn, hey, this evil entity is hunting you down and has been killing people throughout the years and is now killing my family, should it not, from a Christian ideological perspective, be like, okay, I can stop this demon thing by going and sacrificing myself, and then I die and go to heaven, and then these people are saved?
If I may, though, there is no proof that they would have been able to actually stop anything other than he was insistent that he was so sure that her going there would stop it. And then she's like, no, the demon will repossess me. There's no actual, like,
but
plan
she just needs to believe hard enough.
That is what
God
kills
will
me, is
save
that they
her.
go into that final scene with no real plan. They just kind of do it. And then he comes up with the setting the place on fire, like, on the fly.
They're
Genius.
Catholic. Call Russell Crowe.
Call Russell Crowe.
Bring him in.
Why don't you just
yeah,
call
We get a
let's
Taylor
get
crossover.
the Exorcist here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get the exorcism here.
Yeah.
Let's get the X.
Bring the
Pope's
Vespa.
exorcism.
I am so excited for Pope's Exorcist 2.
Once
For
again.
real, dude.
Eternally.
Seriously.
I cannot actually express my excitement. I
Yeah.
feel like between Clown in a Cornfield and the Pope's Exorcist, you guys probably don't think I'm serious, but I'm dead serious. These are my two favorite franchises at the moment.
Clown in the Cornfield is just delightful.
Yes.
And I'm so excited for a new book. Best friend, author of Clown in a Cornfield, we know you're here. We appreciate you.
Adam, if you're listening,
Thank you, Adam.
please,
We
know you're
please
listening.
be friends with us.
If you want to be friends with us, we're down. And then Pope's Exorcist is just so fun.
Yeah.
I want
Yep.
like 1,000 of those movies.
Yeah, I want that to be Russell Crowe's new thing.
Yeah.
Also, Quick and the Dead is the first time I've ever found Russell Crowe attractive. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Literally, yeah. I
That's
don't
the
know why
time
that
Nina's
is.
never
what
seen
it is.
Gladiator.
Okay,
Have you
Pope's
never seen
Exorcist was also up
Gladiator?
there. No, I've never seen Gladiator.
Oh, it's a good
That's like
one.
his,
You gotta watch
like
it
his
before
biggest like
Gladiator
sex machine
2.
era.
I've seen pictures of him from
That
Gladiator.
doesn't
Doesn't
count.
Okay.
You need the voice.
I'm really sorry. I'm gonna have to drag us back to topic. We need desperately to start ending this episode right now.
We do.
Oh, God damn it. Okay.
It's been 2.5
It is
hours, and the
this
weird
gonna be
edit is
too
going to make it
goddamn
bad.
long. Because even before I
So-
lost power, we had already been going for like an hour and a half.
No, that's so fair. I
And that's why
I
we're
get
hitting
it.
Noah's notes. And
Oh.
Nina, do you want to read these, or
Yeah,
am I
I
throwing
got
them to
it.
the wolves?
got it. I'm not gonna make you deal with the wolves. I'm not gonna make you deal with that.
The wolves.
That's you. That's you two, by the way.
It is.
Well, of course we're
Okay,
the
here we go.
wolves.
Also, I just want to put this out there. This movie has earned the 5th spot on my legally not Silent Hill list. It's close enough for me.
Well, I know something
I get
else
it.
is
I see
gonna
it.
get put onto that list.
Oh, I'm so excited. Is it our next movie?
It's our next movie.
I'm
I'll be the
so
judge of that.
excited. I love Legally Not Silent Hill. Noah says, Angie, wake up. Now go back to sleep.
Yeah, he wakes her up and then just tells her to go to sleep. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Also, Nina, you missed this. Because of the subtitles on the laptop, I had no idea this was his sister, even though it's the first thing he says.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
I
no, you
went
told me
through-
that when we were watching it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I did that.
He did do that. Noah says, reading the first viewing notes, having seen it with Noah the second time is really funny because you can really tell where this movie just kind of assumes that you've picked stuff up. Noah says here, I assume our opening death was probably the old night guard, ? Yes, this is true.
It's a reasonable thing to assume.
Mhm.
But then there's like 4 notes in a row about how much I hate Kiefer Sutherland's character.
He sucks.
Noah says, top to bottom, that's a mirror full of hands, which is true.
After the note, hands, hands, hands.
It is. It is.
Yes. Noah says, local man sees a mirror reflecting something that isn't real, but decides to explore the area anyway instead of leaving immediately and moving on to the next spot. This is something I was thinking. I don't care how badly you need the money, but I am not coming back after night 1 with that
Yeah,
shit.
this is exactly what
am
I said earlier.
sorry.
I don't believe in ghosts or curses, but I'm not going to go looking for them. If I encounter one at my
No.
place of work, I'm quitting that fucking job.
That's it.
I'm out.
Unless
That's-
I've been there. If I saw a ghost at my current place of work, I would believe in my staff in general and in the building that I work in enough to maybe muddle through it. But a brand new job that I just started, I'm out skis. I'm not dedicated enough to the people that I work for. Noah says, Lamau, Ben stepping into Piss Lake, the lake that's full of piss. Yes, also I would simply not be going, I don't care what I saw, I'm not going back into Piss Basement when I hear that a plumber is going to be coming later. I'll go into the Piss Basement after it's been drained of piss. Noah says, heyo, what the fuck? I don't know what that's about.
Well, if you look at the other notes, which is Angie saying, heyo, why don't you get a normal job there, Ben? Be less of a loser. This is when his face goes all like melty in the mirror.
Oh, right. And then, yeah.
And then she comes in, she's like, Ben, are you okay? And he's like, get the fuck out!
Get away with me!
I fucking hate you.
Noah says, local man tormented by his guilt for being a shitty, mean person.
Oh, this was 26 minutes into the movie. I find out that that's his sister. And also, I just hate Ben.
Yeah.
Noah says, I wonder who Gary Lewis is. Better open the other locker, not the one marked Gary. Dumbass.
Every time they said Gary Lewis, I was confused because it made me think of Jerry Lewis.
Me too.
Like, why would you do that?
Okay, I'm glad we're all on the
Why
same
would you
page
do
there.
that?
Yeah. This is the thing, right? Is I'm already considering changing a character's name in a story I'm writing because every time I see the name Walter, a name I decided to give this character, I can't help but think of
Walter.
Yeah. So I'm already going to change that character's name. But, like, you're out here naming a character Gary Lewis, and another character is, like, Terrence Barry.
Terrence Barry is a ridiculous fucking name.
I'm so angry about this. Noah says, holy fuck, dude, why does this kid have a fucking 8-foot square mirror in his bedroom right next to his closet mirror and his bedroom door mirror? Listen,
this house makes no sense, right?
How many mirrors there
they've got
are in
so
this
many
house.
mirrors, and they've got so many sinks. They've got sinks fucking everywhere downstairs. What the fuck?
Literally. We have, I think, total 2 mirrors in this house. We have the bathroom mirror, and then we have the floor-length mirror in the office. That's it.
Yeah, we've got one in each bathroom, and that's it.
Why do you have so many fucking mirrors in your house, Ben?
That
Noah
said, the imagery of him going and, like, painting over them is decent. I'm almost willing to forgive the ridiculous number of mirrors just for those scenes.
I like the amount of mirrors in the department store makes sense. I am a big fan of gigantinormous mirror. I wish we would have utilized that a little more. Yeah. I really feel like apart from those few opening scenes. Anyway, Noah says, Terrence Barry, were you haunted by evil mirrors and thought the only way out was to burn it all down? I bet he was.
I was still trying to figure the plot out at this point.
Noah says, okay, they didn't know Gary was dead. A lot of this makes more sense now. Noah says,
oh my god, crazy script work. What do you call? I don't remember his wife's name. They gave her some real dog shit lines. It's probably the angle from which the photograph was taken.
Says such that was really bizarre shit. And like, even when it's not just that she's phrasing it in a way that no human would ever speak, sometimes it's just the thing that she is saying, like the content of it doesn't make sense. Because like her son wakes up crying and calling out for her, and she goes in and says, hey, what? And he's like, screaming lady in the mirror, and she's like, there's nothing in that mirror. You were probably having a dream. You remember our dreams aren't real, right? Anyways, I'm going to be down the hall. Like, everything in the first half of this movie is so fucking rushed. And I feel like that's just a symptom of it. But it comes across as her just being like world's most uninvolved mom.
I have 2 things to say about that. One, I don't think that spending more time on those scenes and making the dialogue better would have fixed this movie at all. No. 2, it really reminds me of a lot of the Hellraiser, like the not Hellraiser scripts that Pinhead got slapped into Hellraiser sequels. Oh, yeah. And I think this could have been one of them with a little bit of love.
We could have put Pinhead into this movie.
We could have put Pinhead in this movie. And
we will put Pinhead in every movie.
We will put Pinhead in every movie. Noah says, do not make me threaten you. Brother, that's a threat. Fuck off, Ben. I really hate you.
He would shout at you for saying that.
Noah says, Anna Essaker is so much younger than her brother. I didn't notice that, but I'll take your word for it.
She is, yeah. It's noticeable.
Noah says, kidnapping a nun, Ben, that's a special kind of evil. Super hell for sure. Yes, he does get to be in super hell. Good for him.
He does get to be in super hell.
Noah says, Mom, why'd you do that to me in the most monotone voice? I'll be brave and say it. The kids aren't rocking out in this one.
That's another thing the Wikipedia summary neglected to mention. Ben has a daughter, and she almost gets killed by Mirror Mom, who she knows is only in the mirror. And then when she's rescued by Real Mom, she looks at Real Mom and says, why would you do that to me?
Yeah.
And that's after
really
getting
good.
forgotten by the movie for most of its runtime because the movie decided that the son just played better on camera. Because he has giant eyes. He has like anime character eyes.
Yeah.
Karen Boyce was literally one of the prettiest people on the planet. Holy shit. I don't know how someone can have like the perfect freckle distribution as a child.
He's annoying to look at to me.
Just too pretty.
A person shouldn't look like that.
Noah
That's
says,
fake.
Right? No, that's a literal anime character. Noah says, Anna literally evaporated. That's crazy. Oh no, she's just a demon that's covered in blood. My bad. Noah said, Alexandre Aja really wanted to make sure we saw police written backward on the hood of a car so we could be reminded of Mirror. Oh my god, are we in the Mirror world? That makes no sense. I thought that was actually written on the hood, backwards on the hood of the car. Is that just ambulances? God, some sort of cool reveal, and I didn't even realize it. I thought that's just the way things were. Get fucked, Ben. So that's all for the first watch. What was I gonna say about Alexandre Aja? Oh, on the when Noah and I watched it together, when he's walking in the mirror world and people are walking around him, I've only maybe at that point vaguely seen photos of Alexandre Aja, and an extra was walking just a little too weird towards the camera, and I was like, is that him? is that Alexandre Aja? And he's just like in this scene. We determined probably not, but it was enough that we both, like, when I made Noah pause it and watch it back, we're both like, is it?
Is it?
I don't think it was.
Have you
but
seen
it could have
a
been.
picture of him recently?
We did. We did
tried
one
to look
one.
up old ones too, and we just couldn't find it.
Yeah. Noah says, man punching a wall and screaming, "You stupid fucking bitch! I'm not here to fight. Can't you see that?" Noah says, God, I'm even more angry at Ben with this watching. This man is a fucking disaster case.
I would like to say I'm clearly not more angry at Ben because there were 50 notes about how much I hate Ben in the first
You were already
viewing.
peak angry.
There's like 4 in this.
Noah says, it's probably the angle from which the photograph is taken. Fucking got me again, round 2. Noah says, that's a strong drug, got a lot of serious side effects. This poor woman's dialogue is a disaster.
This stuff is the only stuff that I know that does.
What is
this
it that
kind
you're
of stuff.
taking to quit drinking?
Yes! Oh my god.
It's like, what are you taking to quit drinking? Holds up bottle. I expected her to say anything other than, that's a strong drug. Got a lot of side effects. What does that mean?
Were they like committed to not doing any
hallucinating.
Research for this movie or something?
It's the only stuff I know that does that kind of stuff.
I will say I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it. I sometimes
every other movie in the 2000s
wanna...
was just making up a name though, or misusing the name of
like
something
Bagul.
real. Like
Scott Derrickson. Noah says Nina is not vibing with the quote-unquote mirror sound effect, and by not vibing, let's just say they're laughing. Yeah, there was one scene where the sound effect that went like wing kept happening, and I pointed it out after like the 3rd time, and then it continued to happen like 6 or 7 more times in the same scene, and every time it happened, it just got worse. Noah says, God, Ben just loves lying to everyone he can. Research paper my ass. Yeah, he's a great detective. Noah says, I love that they made a fully thought out padded room for her in the basement and didn't use it later for like storage or anything. Too haunted, Noah, I think.
No, so true.
probably.
Noah said, Somewhere mirrors are forbidden, where the mirrors couldn't find her. St. Augustine's Monastery. Because, monasteries are known for having no mirrors or whatever. Actually, I guess I'm making this up. Maybe they don't have mirrors usually. I think it's way more likely that this place is extremist with its mirror stance.
St. Augustine actually very opposed to mirrors, so...
This is commonly known, Noah.
You
would know this if you'd gone to seminary or
Yeah,
something.
my bad. I wasn't Catholic. I was cooler. That's not true. Catholics have way more cool stuff than the evangelical church.
Gosh.
This is true. Noah says, I really love the whole schizophrenia as a demon that lives in the mirror angle this movie takes. Insane bending over backwards moves. Yeah, watching Evil now, which the whole point of the show is like, is it a demon or is it mental illness? And we're going to try and diagnose a mental illness instead of jumping to superstition. And after having seen this movie, where it's like, no, it's a demon.
I love the one line that the nun has about it, though, where she's just like, yeah, I mean, they thought that I had schizophrenia and that would cure me. That doesn't work. He was wrong about that. There's no way to cure schizophrenia. Fortunately, though, what was happening with me was something else.
That was curable. A demon.
Like, basically, this doctor just did the classic, like, wrong formula, but somehow got the right answer thing.
Noah says, what are you doing in there? Child, that is a mirror. What do you mean? Noah says, this is during the climax. I said to Noah offhandedly, have you seen the current sexualizing nuns discourse? Noah said, Nina, are you saying this nun is hot? And I said, no, because that's not what I was saying. It just made me think of it. But Noah's notes say, Nina, what? Nina, what? No, parentheses, justification, which is what I've just done again, to be fair. But no, that's not why I brought it up. I don't think that nun was hot. Or do I? Noah says, I love that Ben is strong enough to bodily throw this woman. I don't care how possessed she is. I don't believe he can do that.
Yeah.
Noah says, Nina is so fucking mad this guy is surviving and fair. Can't wait for the reveal to hit, though, Lamau. I was thrilled. I was so happy about the ending.
He starts to climb out of the basement, and Nina's like, I'm so fucking mad this guy lived. I can't fucking believe it.
Surprise.
Yeah, and then I noticed that it was a remake, and then Noah watched the remake, and it looks like he started to take notes and then gave up.
Oh, I was never going to take notes. It's not second language. It's a foreign language film. I can't take notes on my laptop while watching on my laptop.
Anyway, that's Noah's notes for a movie that had some good notes. This is one of the rare ones that we get that's not good, but it is like bad enough that we can have a conveation about it.
I gave this a 9.5, Nina.
Is that so?
It's
I gave it
almost
a 7.8. Because it has an asterisk next to it because I took a page out of your book, and while I was watching, I was also drawing. But I'm not as practiced at splitting my attention that way as you are. So I wasn't fully paying attention to the movie.
Me and Emma, Predator Handshake, loved this movie.
Oh, man.
Jade and Nina, Predator Handshake, but somehow in a thumbs down way, did not like this movie.
I think we could pull that off.
Yeah.
Anyway, next time we will be watching a movie Jade picked.
Yeah. Next time we are going to be watching the movie Baskin, which is directed by Can Evernal. It's Turkish. And I have wanted to cover it for a long while because it is a really, really good movie, but it's also fucked up with a capital F. I'm hyped for it.
I'm so excited. I have been enjoying some fucked up shit recently.
I have been predicting for a little while that Noah specifically is going to like this one, actually. There's just something about the general feelings of it and such that it feels like something you'll be into.
I'm pumped as all else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until then, thank you for listening. I've been Nina. I haven't been your host. I haven't even been here for half the episode, but I'm here now. You can find me at Nina Wolverina on Twitter and Instagram. I do art and I write things. I have 2 things that I will be quote unquote releasing soon. One's a short story and the other is a special edition of a vampire book I wrote last year. So please follow me on Instagram to see updates about that. Otherwise, I've been here with some other people.
Like me, Noah. You can find me as Bubbadabad, Bubbadabad, on Twitter and Letterboxd. I gotta find something. Twitch, Twitter, and Insta was so
Mm-hmm.
good to say, and I'm not on half of that anymore, you know? Twitter and Letterboxd, though, I am going strong with my 400 movies for 2024, so
Woo.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I have been Jade. You can find me on Tumblr at What Is It You Pray For, and I swear I'm trying to start using Letterboxd again at The Fakest Fan.
If I may, a good way to get back into using it, don't feel like you have to review it, just log it, and that'll get you at least in the habit of going
just
there.
doing the thing. Yeah.
Just to, you don't even need to rate it in the moment. Just pop in, log it, and leave again.
Oh shit!
And then you can come back and edit that later.
The thing that
That
prevents
way
me
you can
doing it is I
edit and
don't want to
review
put
it.
the thought into a review or even a rating in the moment while I'm watching a movie. I like sitting on things for a little while, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to just log, that makes so much more sense. I'm an idiot. Why didn't I do that?
Big brain stonks hours.
And I'm Emma. You can find me. I'm not really using much social media. I have been using Letterboxd though, mostly just to track what movies I'm watching and my vague thoughts on them in star form. But if you want to follow me there, you can. It's Emma Panada. But thank you all so much for hanging out and joining us. We appreciate it. Enjoy this very long episode. And we'll
That is mostly not
talk to
about
you
this.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.
Yeah.